This is Black Fire Radio, video 24/7. This is Black Fire Radio, video 24/7. This is Black Fire Radio, video for the 21st century. Hamzambo family. Welcome to the Black Fire Network. Welcome to the Africa Today show on the Black Fire Network. I just hope that you are doing fantastic on yet another wonderful Monday, being on the 1st of February, the year 2020. And of course, this is a first broadcast in the month of February. And of course, so many people do look up to, the time when January ends and you get into another new month. And that is when you realize the time is actually moving pretty fast. Thank you so much, Mr. Truth, for joining us on the show. And also Melanated Warrior saying peace bikes. And also Brother Zimana, thank you so much for joining us on the show. You saying peace to Mr. LBN, peace to Spikes and Mr. Truth. And also the wonderful sister, Asha Walker. Thank you so much for being part of this particular broadcast. How are things going on for you and your family? I would love to know where you're tuning from. And I also would love to know how your days are coming up. And I also seen earlier we did have I think that was Mr. LBN. I was saying what's up at Zeman and Spikes. What's up to you too? I was wondering now that we have a Mr. LBN, I was also wondering what happened to Mr. Pirate Brain. We also did have the brother Mr. Pirate Brain. I think no one has heard from him for a minute. And if you have, I would like to know how is the brother doing, because he was with us on a couple of the broadcasts, and then after a minute, I think he disappeared. I hope that the brother is doing fantastic. And I want to welcome all of us to the show. We do say karibu sana in Swahili, which simply means you are very, very much welcome. If you do emphasize and say karibu sana, it means you are very, very much welcome. If we're not able to have a Swahili class for the weekend, we did have a bit of a challenge on Saturdays and Sunday, but nonetheless, we shall pick it up from where we left last week, part one, and we are hoping that we can be able to embark on the same and continue just getting to learn, Swahili together on the weekend as a family. But nonetheless, it's in the month of February, and some people have actually labeled this particular month as a Black History Month. For me, I do believe that, every month is a Black History Month. And of course, it's not just that we have to wait for February to be able to be learning about Black history. I do believe each and every other day of the year, we should be getting to learn a little bit about some Black history. And I think it's also hypocritical. If it means that February is a Black History Month, then it means that the other months of the year, the rest 11 months, March, April, the other 11 months, it means that is a white history, if you ask me. Because if you have to designate one particular day for something, then it means on the other days it's not happening. But nonetheless, I just want to welcome all of us to the broadcast. I also think that Valentine's, which is also, another pagan holiday or another pagan celebration done this particular month, I believe is also out of a place. Because if you say that this is a day of love, and then you do have so many Africans being mixed up on what is going on and taking up their energy in the pretext or in the guise of a day of love. That is also some nonsensical stuff. But nonetheless, I just want to welcome all of us to the Black Watch Fire Network Africa Today Show. And Storm Down, thank you so much for joining us. You're saying, I think you're saying hello to the beloved sister, Sister Asha Walker. And also I see Sister Asha Walker is also saying hello back. And talking about the month of the Black History Month, I just wanted to highlight just a few things. And I don't know who you might be. Of course, you might have some icons that you would like to give a shout out to, or you really, really love to recognize their contribution and efforts when it comes to matters, empowerment in the Black community. And not just empowerment, maybe socio-economically, maybe politically, and other different kinds of ways. But for me, if I were to have individuals, I would just like to shout out or give a quick shout out. In this Black History Month, I think I would mention perhaps Harriet Tubman, perhaps Henrietta Lacks, perhaps also Malcolm X. I would like to give a quick shout out to him as well. Marcus Garvey, perhaps also individuals and maybe even local individuals like Wangari Maathai. She was actually an environmental campaigner right here in Nairobi, and she happened to get a Nobel Peace Prize. Today we shall be talking about the Nobel Peace Prize itself, but nonetheless also some of the individuals I would just like to highlight and mention who I believe maybe should also get some spotlight in this particular month. And like I said, it's not just we have to wait for one particular month of the year to say that this is Black History Month. What about the rest of the months? What about April? What about December? What about November? All these are times it's people just get into sleep on their culture and sleep on their history, which is actually what has been the case with our people. Mr. Truth, you're saying you're all in Atlanta. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Before we proceed, or even before we start, I just wanted to remind us that you do have the Black Watch Fire Network. Spikes, if a good shout out to Oprah. I will give you the opportunity yourself to do it. Unapologetically, Melanated Warrior, if you'd like to join us and give you a shout out to Mami Kun, you are welcome to do so. And if anyone would like to join us later on the show, just get to share their 2 cents on the topic of the day, or also to share their 2 cents, or even give a quick shout out to any of the icons, the Black icons. I believe you can be able to do so using that particular link I just shared with us. But nonetheless, I wanted to remind us that in April, we shall be having the Black Watch Fire Network Tanzania tour. I believe so far the reception has been good, and family is interested. We shall be heading. I believe so far it has been about 10 people that has shown their interest in getting to tour with us to go to Tanzania. And I actually want to applaud everyone that has, signed up really for this particular tour. It shall not be a waste of time. It's really an eye-opening experience as well as an enriching experience for you when it comes to getting your perspective right about the continent of Africa and getting to explore the African Renaissance and also being part of what is happening right here in Africa. And having first-hand knowledge, I might come here and tell you about Tanzania is this, or I'll tell you about Kenya is this, or I'll tell you about Ghana is all this, and tell you about South Africa, tell you about Rwanda. I might tell you all those things, but seeing is believing. And of course, if you want to open up your mind and see things for yourself, we are giving you the wonderful opportunity to join us on this particular tour to Tanzania. We shall be going to Dar es Salaam for a week, and also we shall be going to Zanzibar for a week. And I was saying there is so much really to be able to see in Tanzania. People might tell you all stories, but if you go and see for yourself, you can be able to make your own assessment and be able to make your own informed opinion about the matters on the ground. I might tell you the Tanzanian people are very, very much hospitable. And then you question it. You might say, why do you think the people are hospitable? Or I might tell you about the rich culture of the Tanzanian people. And you might say, nah, I have seen other cultures and I think maybe they are better, or maybe they are much, they're rich in culture. But if you join us on this particular tour from the 12th of April to the 27th of April, then I believe that is a life-changing experience. And at the end of the day, you can be able to tell your own story, and you can be able to paint your own picture of the same. Mr. LBN, you're saying Queen Zinga, that those are some of the individuals that you'd like to give a shout out to, and other kingdoms throughout Africa, Asia, and the Americas. And you're saying Kush, Kemet, Timbuktu, and other kingdoms. Many people right here on the African continent, we have been sort of put in a kind of a dark room when it comes to our African history. I was talking to some friends of mine a little bit earlier in the day, and I was telling them about how our history is not even taught in schools. If you go into the history textbooks, for example, myself, when I was in school and I was studying history, I always keep on saying right here on the Black Watch Network that I only learn as much as from 1498, when they say that there was the Portuguese arriving at the East African coast from around 1498, and they were talking about Vasco da Gama, who were explorers, making their way and getting to discover what is happening on the Indian East African coast. And they happened to make their own Fort Jesus. It's something called Fort Jesus. Let me share with us briefly where our Kenyan history starts. And you realize that before then, no one really will tell you what did happen in this particular area, the coastal region of Kenya. No one will tell you what happened in central Kenya. No one will tell you anything about our African history. And that has been, the greatest challenge or the greatest disappointment when it comes to matters African history. From 1498, nothing, I believe, is taught in our schools regarding our own history and our own culture as the Black people. But nonetheless, let me share these with us at the Vasco da Gama ruins. We do have the Fort Jesus ruins in Mombasa. That is where we start our history, and then it goes all the way into slavery and everything else. And then you are told that your history can only be closely tied to slavery, and there is nothing much after, there is nothing much after that. But let me share briefly this video, and then we shall get into the matters of the day. And I also would like I was asking a question earlier. Is brother Keith going to be on the show today? Yes, he is joining us on the show briefly. And of course, I thank you so much for your question, aggravated man, for being part of the Black Watch Network. I was saying, if you would like to join us on our Tanzania tour, feel much welcome. You can get a hold of a kid really on his email, which is KCNewsSum15. Let me just put it down, KCNewsSum15. You can make your inquiry or just get to learn more about the arrangements of that particular tour. And I was saying that Tanzania is a place where you do not need to wear any mask. We do not have any curfews in Tanzania. Neither do we have travel restrictions. You can be able to really move around Tanzania and see what's good with the whole of it in Dar es Salaam and also in Zanzibar as well. We shall be there for 2 weeks. And I remember, it's an eye-opening experience.
Yes, sir. We'll show this. Can you hear me, Spikes? Can you hear me, Spike?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
All right, well, go ahead. Well, like I said, pull up an image. Go to Google search and pull up images of Paje, Zanzibar, Paje. Almost, I booked so many people, I almost fucked up our own booking. Like, I got to book, booking everybody. I got to book the damn thing for my damn staff. They run out
That, this, this,
because Goldenheart's friend called and she wants to come too. So yeah, you can blow up one of those images. So
um,
I was, so that right there, that's Paggy there. So that's Paggy there, and that's Paggy there. Okay, that's gonna be that's Pat. Okay, so if I said that right there is Paggy, where we're gonna be on the east side of the island. Very beautiful. And then we're gonna spend our time over there, white sand beaches and beautiful Paggy. Then for the party time, we're gonna sashay back over to the west side of the island and go over to the Stone Town and go through the historic site of Stone Town. Like, do me a favor, pull up Stone Town, Zanzibar, images of Stone Town. So that's where you're gonna have the slave market over there, and you're gonna have the open food market. Like I said, Saturday and Sunday, I couldn't do a show. I was getting everybody's flights and everybody's hotel bookings. Shit, that shit was draining. So that's gonna be Stone Town, and so the last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the trip will be spent in that area. We have open food market, and just a all-out party all day long. And Golden Heart's friend had me laughing. Good. What'd you say, Spike?
I'm saying they say it's party after party in Kenya. If it were in Kenya, they normally do say it's party after party.
Yeah, it's gonna be party after party. Exactly right. It's gonna be party after party over there in Zanzibar. So it's gonna be party after party because there's no curfew like they got in Kenya, and there are no masks. So no curfew, no mask. So it's really gonna be party after party after party.
And there was a time you were saying that the culture is almost the same with the Kenyan one, because if I share this video
it's exactly the same,
and I share the other video of Mombasa, you realize when they're talking about Vasco da Gama and the people in Mombasa, you will realize it's very, very close. It's almost the same, just the distance.
Well, it may be different now, a little bit different because of the borders now, but it was the same culture before the borders, right? It's the same areas. There were no borders. That's all Swahili areas, all the same. That's why when you go to Mombasa and the coast of Kenya, it looks just like Zanzibar. It's just like Dar es Salaam. It's the same people, the same culture. It was no different. It was no different. These borders that were created, the same people. Was no border there. There was no border. There was no Kenyan. There was no Tanzanian. They were African. So was no borders. So that's why Mombasa is comparable to Dar es Salaam and Zanzibar. The same shit. Over there by Dani and all the other coastal towns of Kenya are just like the ones in Tanzania because there was the same culture, same people. Only when you got colonized by white people and they put up a fake border. Now you're too arguing. Hey, I don't like you, Kenyan. I don't like you, Tanzania. It's near both of you, stupid. 100-some years ago, before the white man came, we were the same people, dummy.
But I do believe, there was someone who was, I don't remember who was actually telling us about, how some people will actually tell you go back to Africa when they're having an argument with you. The cracker will say go back to Africa. But if you look at some of the places in Tanzania, for example, Pemba, let me share this video of Pemba. You'll find some of the crackers, going to enjoy some of these resources. For example,
of course, they're there. I said they're exactly right. They're there. But Africa's beautiful. Africa's beautiful. Of course, they're there. I told you, they told me to go back to Africa. When I went there, I found their ass there.
For example, these underwater room, they do have a couple of, I believe they do have a couple of these in Tanzania, and
My sound.
that's a little bit of an underwater room, but of course that is in Manta Resort. That is a little bit.
Hold on, Spike. Someone called me. Give me a second. Who's calling me, man?
Yeah, that is a place where you can also get to see what's happening. Monica Mancriama says Black History Month. Is it black or did you say black or black? But nonetheless, Michelle El Zubair is saying a good afternoon. We trust that you all doing well. Melanche Dway says hello to you too. And Aggravated Man was asking how the kid is going to be on. Yes, he is. And G-Man says, yep. We spread out around the world. I trust my ancestry, and it confirms what you've been saying that we all Bantu coast to coast. Zima, did you do that ancestry test? I would like to know how you were able to. How did you pin it down? What did you do the ancestry test? Because I have seen a couple of them, and some of them really not trustworthy. I hear there is it the National Geographic test? I think the National Geographic also has a test that they get to conduct and are all able to determine perhaps where you all are coming from. I don't know which one particular one you did conduct. I also got to hear that Lil Wayne, the rapper, you're saying he conducted his test and discovered that he is Nigerian. I do not know which particular test he took, but I believe there are a couple of them. I would love to know also which particular one is more closer to, which particular one is true or is more accurate. I would love to know when it comes to that particular matter, because it's crazy. But nonetheless, talking about, I was earlier on, I was speaking about Black history. I did a DNA test. Okay, that's all good. I was thinking about Black History Month, and there is someone who has come out, and they are the ones celebrating Black History Month more than everyone else. And this happens to be the Attorney General of Kentucky. I don't know what happens with people. You go out there and throw everyone else under the bus, and then when it has anything to do with the Black people, you want to be the one out there talking about Black people. I remember talking about Kamala Harris and how she's preparing a special recipe.
You did your DNA test, G-Man? Sorry, Spike. What'd your DNA test say? What'd your DNA test say? Yeah, you mostly Bantu people, but the Ashkenazi is trying to change that, because he's trying to make the difference between African people, trying to muddy the waters up. The original people are Bantu. All other people are created African, like the Khoisan. That's a created African. It's not they're the oldest race. No, they're not. Created African. They get mad. I cover that up. Because the Khoisan go all the way up to Europe and then come all the way back down. That's why they say the Khoisan went all the way into Europe, and then they walked all the way back down to South Africa, because they got Western markers. Because they use these, so they create these fake Africans then to make these other people. But now they just, instead of saying that, they just now say that Khoisan went up to Europe, and then they walked all the way back to South Africa. Did they? That's pretty stupid.
But they say, Kida, I hear they say that the language they speak is one of the most ancient. How is also that possible.
I
They
don't
say
give
that.
fuck. I don't give. That's white people lies. Who cares what the hell they say? Everything they say is a lie. If you know spiritually what they are,
Mm.
you know spiritually what they are. They're not a human being. So everything they tell you is a lie to keep power and to keep this prison planet going. Everything's a lie they tell. Everything is a lie. All of it. You know they're not the first people because the Khoisan have what? Neanderthal genetics. So they can't be first. That's a lie. Only the African has non. Oh, hold on, Spikes, hold on.
Yeah, this is how they claim it. For example, these Massaman are saying that they are the world's oldest race. But Keith is also putting a question mark.
There's a race of people
on that particular one in regards to how old they are said to be. Nonetheless, before Akida gets back on, I wanted to share this particular story about how people will be throwing everyone else under the bus and throwing his people under the bus. Then at the same time coming up with a Black history and talking about what Black history should be, and sharing his.
All right, hold on, Spikes, hold on. I had to talk to one of the Mexicans over in Houston. I thought I was gonna have to knock me a Mexican out over here. No, what I'm saying about everything they say concerning our genetics is always a lie, because they want you to, they want to. Whole thing is to make sure that Black people can never leave this existence. So everything now, all your history's been turned upside down. It's a lie, right? You got to understand, all your history is now a lie. Because the whole thing is to make sure you keep coming back into this existence. As if you follow genetics, and now the Ashkenazi has now what? Control of the genetics. To try to say, yeah, the African walked here, then he walked there, then he walked. The African was all over the fucking planet. The whole planet is African. Period. The Khoisan and all the pygmy people are created African. That's why they have, when they say archaic genetics, means they have animal genetics. And also Neanderthal. So when you look at the Africans over in Papua New Guinea, those are created Africans. The Aborigine are created African. You know, they wiped most of them out. They were created African. Are they original people? No, they're not. That's why I said, the Australian Aborigine are now the oldest on the planet on the line. No, they're not. That's a created African. They have they're animal genetics, created with animals. You know, people get mad. There's no evolution. Ain't nobody become no fucking monkey, became no man. Sorry. That's the shit they gonna keep saying, that crazy shit. It's a lie. It's a lie. Because the pure African doesn't have any animal genetics, doesn't have any chimpanzee or nothing in its genome. I don't care if they get mad about that. The African never evolved from any. And the sad fact, when you understand about the Neanderthal, has human genetics, human markers. So that lets you know that the Neanderthal was created also from the Black African. The Neanderthal was created from the African, who was the oldest, straight out the ether, the oldest. All other races and animals are created from the Black African. They know that, but no, you can't say that. And then some idiot tell me some shit about being pseudo. You're talking to pseudoscience, motherfucker. Not pseudoscience, dummy. You can go look all this up, idiot. I know you're too stupid to know that. You know. Go ahead.
I'm saying personally, I do not know the argument behind making this Khoisan the oldest race in the world. But let me just play a little bit over this, then we get back into the main the conversation with our kid.
The Anamanese, who have been isolated There's a race of people that most around the world have probably never heard of, yet are without a doubt the single most genetically and linguistically disparate human population that has ever existed, even more so than the Animanese, who have been isolated from all other human populations on their island chain for tens of thousands of years, or the Yaghan of Tierra del Fuego, who are the most geographically isolated people on Earth, being the closest people group to Antarctica. While looking at the differences between European, African, Oceanian, Amerindian, and Asian populations, we often forget that there could technically be considered a sixth regionalized ancestral continuum. As being the birthplace of modern humans, Africa has the largest genetic diversity of any continent, with there being a very distinct genetic
for the genetic diversity. Yes, to that particular extent, I do agree that Africa is the most genetically diverse people.
Strain or race found here that is quite different from the typical Black African, and they're actually still around to this day. I've actually discussed this many times in the past, how there are many very physically distinct African populations, some of which can be easily identifiable, such as Horn Africans, with most Ethiopians, Somalis, and Eritreans have more quote-unquote Caucasoid features due to admixture with ancient migrants in the Middle East. And perhaps...
Check this out. Wait. See, he's getting it wrong, but I told you, he's talking about the modern Abyssinian, who's not an Ethiopian. Okay, let's get this correct. That's what I told you why they changed the name and all this old distortion. The Ethiopians, that's not Ethiopia. Sudan is Ethiopian. And most of those cats in Ethiopia are created African. Exactly. That's why they have Caucasoid features and Caucasoid genetics. They are not an original African. And that is not Ethiopia. That is Abyssinia. That is, let's make sure we understand that clearly. That's Abyssinia. It is not Ethiopia. That they changed the name to take the history of Ethiopia, which was Kush and Nubia. That was Abyssinia, not Ethiopia, and they're not Ethiopian. You don't get to say in 1947, this is Ethiopia, and now we're Ethiopian. You're not no goddamn Ethiopian. The people of Kenya are more Ethiopian than the motherfuckers that they call Ethiopia over Ethiopia today. Oh, damn.
Someone calling you. I don't know. Let me play a little bit.
Good.
Let me play a little bit more the same.
Past how there are
they're
many
still around.
Distinct.
They're still around parts of Ethiopia, but those are not the ones they see on TV. What you see on TV are those ag mixtures. But they changed the name to say they're the ancient Ethiopians. They are not.
And even when you look at the media on TV, you'll not see the black Ethiopians. Like you keep on saying, you just see the mixed ones. You'll see all of them as being mixed.
Exactly.
There are about 81 groups. There are about 81 ethnic. There are 81 ethnic groups in Ethiopia. But when it comes to the news and the media, you'll not see them. But let me play a little bit more of these, and now we can actually debunk some of what they say.
Found here that is quite different from the typical Black African, and they're actually still around to this day. I've actually discussed
the black. You see, this is where you get the races with this no good cracker. The Black African, motherfucker. The Black African is the original human. Stupid. These other ones are not original. So when you say the Black African, put some respect on it, you hybrid. Put some goddamn respect on it. Go ahead, Spike.
Distinct African populations.
You mean the original human being?
Identifiable, such as Horn Africans, with most Ethiopians, Somalis, and Eritreans have more quote-unquote Caucasoid features due to admixture with ancient migrants from the Middle East, and perhaps most famously, the Nilotic peoples of South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania are also quite easily recognizable, as I discussed in my most popular video, being the darkest, thinnest, and perhaps tallest people on Earth. However, the one group that I've somewhat glossed over in the past is the indigenous Southern African traditional hunter-gatherers, a loose collection of peoples that more or less stem from a common gene pool dating back 1/10 of a million years ago. sometimes referred to as Capoids due to their concentration near the Cape of Good Hope. These people are believed to have been descended from one of the first branches to split from modern Homo sapiens, roughly 80 to 120,000 years ago. And for context, Neanderthals and Denisovans, although considered separate species from Homo sapiens, split around 400,000 to 800,000 years ago, and Africans and Eurasians, as in all non-African populations, only split from each other roughly 50 to 70,000 years ago. Oh, and in case you're wondering what time estimates have...
Pause it. You talk about Neanderthals and Denisovans. That's where all these other hybrids will start getting created. Your Denisovan model are your Asian, that's your Asian Neanderthal, and your regular Neanderthal are your Europeans and your East Indians mixed with all these other animal types. But I gotta go take a piss real quick. Let it play. I'll come back. Yeah, I gotta take a piss. Go ahead.
It's a good.
Tanzania are also quite easily recognizable, as I discussed many times in the past, how there are many very physically distinct African populations, some of which can be easily identifiable, such as Horn African.
Understanding race. He's talking about phenotype or race, which is completely idiotic. And I'll explain it when I come back. I gotta take a picture.
Capoid features due to admixture with ancient migrants from the Middle East, and perhaps most famously, the Nilotic peoples of South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania are also quite easily recognizable, as I discussed in my most popular video, being the darkest, thinnest, and perhaps tallest people on Earth. However, the one group that I've somewhat glossed over in the past would be the indigenous Southern African traditional hunter-gatherers, a loose collection of peoples that more or less stem from a common gene pool dating back 1/10 of a million years ago, sometimes referred to as Capoids due to their concentration near the Cape of Good Hope. These people are believed to have been descended from one of the first branches to split from modern Homo sapiens, roughly 80 to 120,000 years ago. And for context, Neanderthals and Denisovans, although considered separate species from Homo sapiens, split around 400,000 to 800,000 years ago, and Africans and Eurasians, as in all non-African populations, only split from each other roughly 50 to 70,000 years ago. Oh, and in case you're wondering why the time estimates have such huge discrepancies, it's because various sources give entirely different answers, so it's really more of a rough guess for now. This doesn't mean there wasn't significant contact between these hunter-gatherers and other Africans in that time, but they have, without a doubt, the most distinct and ancient ancestral strain, having inhabited South, Central, and East Africa for tens of thousands of years, before the much more recent migrations from the Northwest intermixed with and displaced these people groups. So think of them as the Native Americans of Sub-Saharan Africa. This is further complicated by the discovery of admixture in these hunter-gatherers that is thought to be from an entirely separate lineage from Homo sapiens altogether, with this admixture coming from a very ancient, extinct, archaic hominid found in Central Africa, with this species believed to have split from Homo heidelbergensis, the ancestors of humans, Neanderthals, and Denisovans, 700,000 to possibly even 1 million years ago, making it the most genetically disparate hominin population to ever intermix with modern Homo sapiens. As you could probably tell from the title and thumbnail, the modern descendants of this highly unique sub-Saharan population are found predominantly in the Khoisan of southern Africa, a group that is indigenous to what is now modern-day South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, and possibly further, such as parts of Angola, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Full-blooded Khoisan have a strikingly distinct appearance when compared to other sub-Saharan Africans, generally having lighter skin, tighter, coarser hair, and very distinguished facial features, smaller eyes, higher cheekbones, and smaller noses, somewhat reminiscent of East Asian populations. The other traditional hunter-gatherer population of sub-Saharan Africa would be the Pygmies, a group further north in Central Africa, and is closer to other African populations than the Khoisan are, but are still very genetically distinct, as we'll get to later. The Khoisan and the Pygmies were gradually pushed back by waves of migration from West Africa, some of which would give rise to the Nilotic and Afro-Asiatic populations in the East, but by far the biggest impact on these groups was the expansion of the Niger-Congo-speaking Bantu populations, originally from West Africa, in a nearly 2,000-year-long conflict known as the Bantu Expansion, wherein various tribes and clans from what is now Cameroon expanded into Pygmy, Khoisan, and Nilo-Saharan territory, intermixing with, killing, or displacing these people. As a result, the Pygmies were relegated to small pockets within the interior of the Congo, although cultural contact with the Bantus had resulted in them losing their original language, although parts of their vocabulary and grammar clearly indicate their pre-Bantu origins. The Khoisan were mostly spared due to the fact that a large part of their population lived in the Kalahari Desert of Namibia, which even today is the second least densely populated region of Africa after the Sahara, although the Khoisan became quite well adapted to this environment, learning how to hunt and forage in this desolate landscape. However, it's important to realize that the Khoisan are not exactly one people group, as although they do share many similarities and are generally grouped together for convenience sake, there are still many genetic, linguistic, and cultural differences between them, seeing how, even though Khoisan groups share the commonality of all using click consonants, not generally seen in other languages, they are still distinct enough to be split into multiple families. Likewise, even though they all descend from the same distinct genetic lineage stretching back 100,000 years, there's been relatively little intermixing between some groups, which has led to there being more genetic distance between select Khoisan groups than between the average European or Asian. Interestingly, it's also been found that within the last couple thousand years, there was a small migrant group from somewhere around the Horn of Africa that introduced minor levels of Horn African admixture into select Khoi populations, as evidenced by the presence of haplogroup E3b in some Khoi, mostly found in many Afro-Asiatic speaking peoples, although overall, most Khoisan, along with the Pygmies, belong to haplogroup A or B, as opposed to E1 or E3A, which is found in most Niger-Congo-speaking populations of West, Central, East, and Southern Africa. Because of their isolation, mostly living in the deserts and plains of Southern Africa, the Khoisan were not discovered by Europeans for quite some time, although it is true that both Western Europeans and the Bantus started to arrive in the Cape of Good Hope area around the same time, mid-1600s, and the European settlers, namely the Dutch, immediately recognized them as distinct from the neighboring Bantu peoples. Although Capoid admixture in most Bantu populations is quite low, there has been considerable genetic and cultural exchange between the Khoisan and a few Bantu peoples of southern Africa, namely the Xhosa or Xhosa and the Tswana, both of which actually contain some of the click continents borrowed from the Khoi languages, although the Bantu speakers with the highest percentage of Khoi ancestry would be the Kgalagadi of southwest Botswana at nearly 1/3 of their genome. Conversely, the Khoi-speaking population with the lowest levels of Capoid admixture would be the Damara of northern Namibia, who, despite speaking a language very similar to that of the nearby Nama, are actually very genetically disparate, showing almost no genetic affinity to either Khoi-speaking groups, suggesting that they are indeed Bantus who shifted to speaking a Khoi language. The Dutch, and to a lesser extent British settlers who arrived in the Cape, intermixed with the Khoi, as well as neighboring Bantu populations, and imported slaves from Madagascar, Indonesia, and India, creating a unique mixed-race population known as the Cape Coloreds that is highly heterogeneous, meaning some individuals may be mostly European, others mostly Bantu, and others mostly Khoi, with their ancestry being a spectrum depending on the individual and their geographic location.
I think at the Cape you do have a lot of mix-up, with all these particular people coming together, the Dutch, the Khoisan, and everyone else are coming to this particular one, and the Indians, the people from Madagascar. I think if you go to these particular Cape, you will find all kinds of particular individuals. But for one, I do believe that the language itself is very, very distinct, and it's also difficult. I do not figure how people do get to learn that particular language of the Khoisan, where you're getting to use the click sounds. But I also do dispute the fact that evolution is also fake. Evolution is the evolution theory. If people did happen to come from all these different monkeys and everything else, then why do we still have monkeys? Which is one of the questions that you can ask yourself. If something has evolved from being this to that, then it means that you should not have the earlier form still in existence. That is according to my thinking. But nonetheless, let me share a little bit more of this. But I do believe there is some information right here, which is not really, really accurate, but it's also from his perspective, which we shall also be looking into.
The Coloreds have evolved into a Christian, Afrikaner-speaking ethnic group that today contains some of the most diverse ancestries of any people group from around the world. Khoisan admixture in the Coloreds varies considerably, generally being highest in the Northern Cape, while another Afrikaner-speaking mixed-race group, the Basters, also exist in central Namibia as a result of Dutch explorers settling down and intermixing with native Khoi women, having quite possibly the highest Khoisan admixture of any non-Khoisan speaking population. Capoid admixture can be found in many groups across Africa, even those such as the Afrikaners, descendants of the original white settlers of South Africa, and although found in trace amounts in virtually all African populations south of the equator, this capoid admixture is completely absent from West African populations, showing the expansion from the northwest to the south and around. There are other traditional hunter-gatherer peoples throughout Africa, such as the Sandaway and Hadza of East Africa and Tanzania, both speaking non-Niger Congo languages with click consonants, believed to have predated the arrival of the Bantus by many thousands of years. Sandaway oral traditions even claim to have some affinity with the population much further south, implied to be the Khoi, and you can see a very slight resemblance to the Khoisan when looking at some Sandaway individuals, as around 10 to 15% of their gene pool is derived from the Khoisan, while over the generations there's been intermixing with many other neighboring populations, including the Nilotes, Cushites, and Bantus who arrived later on. However, the same can't really be said for the Hadza, and due to the fact that
what this white dude is doing is a complete farce. Talking about the other individuals that arrived later. These are lies. These are European lies. Because they want to say the pygmies, everybody came from ape, that's a small ape, became a pygmy. Pygmy then grew up into a normal human being. But these are lies. And of course, there's going to be some crossbreed now because they were African people. But these are created people genetically. That's why I told you, you'll look at the East Indian and the Eastern Asian, they border on the same area, but they look completely different. You got that because you got genetic manipulation. These are created entities. Khoisan is a created African. That's best. That's why they create him as a created God. They have Neanderthal genetics. And when they talk about anything that has European markers in it, has what? Animal genetics. It wasn't any evolutionary period. Did nobody black go in the ice, become cold? Didn't no midget become no normal sized human being? And all these other crazy shit, because that's them trying to cover up genetic manipulation. They're created. The other people are created from the African genetics, from the African genome. Because one main thing, everybody has what? African genetics. Even the Neanderthal has African genetics. So that means the Neanderthal was created from African genetics. Not that the African fucked the damn Neanderthal, created other people, or the Neanderthal was just came from an animal. That's a lie. The Neanderthal is created. That's why they're still walking around here. The Bigfoot's still walking around here. That's why I showed you they still got the big feet in goddamn in Vietnam called the rock ape that they were fighting in Vietnam. They're still fighting these damn Bigfoot in Vietnam, the rock apes. So they try to, oh, the Neanderthal died. Neanderthal never died out. They keep going back to these years. The African goes back billions of years. That's what they hate. They keep talking about civilization started 7,000 years ago when they show up. That's a lie. Linguistically, it's a lie. And they don't like it, so they making up new history. The history keeps getting made up. So everything they say is, go ahead.
I'm just saying that the fact that here is actually labeled these particular people, the Khoisan, as the oldest. Is
that's what they keep doing. They keep naming the Khoisan the oldest, who are not even the darkest people. So that's a lie. But they're gonna keep naming the Khoisan. They know the Khoisan has animal genetics. Let's see if we can pull up. See, forget what he's saying, Spikes. Let's do some little research ourselves. Let's say what is the Khoisan genome? Let's go into Google. You go Google. Let's see if we can investigate it. Let's see if we can reverse engineer it. What is the Khoisan genetics? Or let's say does the Khoisan have Neanderthal admixture? Ask Google that. Say, does the Khoisan have Neanderthal admixture? Ask that. And let's see. Let's see what we get. Might go to because they're going to start lying. Yeah, does the Khoisan have Neanderthal admixture?
They're saying the researchers have found something else. The Khoisan tribe people had also snippets of Neanderthal DNA in their genes as well.
Of course, right? So, right, so they got Neanderthal genetics. They're not the oldest because we know the sub-Saharan African doesn't have Neanderthal spikes. So the Khoisan can't be the oldest. So right there, we debunked this lying-ass cracker. Right there. What he's saying is a lie. But I know it's a lie. Because I know I do science. I know he's lying. They are created Africans. They have Neanderthal genetics because they were created out of a fucking chimp. Go ahead, Spikes.
There's also the question here that says what ethnic group has the most Neanderthal DNA? They are saying the East Asians. I believe also these are included. Indians. They're saying the East Asians seem to have the most Neanderthal DNA in their genomes.
Which ones are we talking about? Are we talking about the East Indians, the East Asians, or the Chinese looking Asian ones?
Probably the Chinese.
Mongolian. Yeah, you got the Mongolian, and you got the Han. So which each of the Asians are we talking about? The Han? Maybe it's the Han. I'm not sure. But right there, you just proved that cracker is lying. He knows the fuck he's talking about. But he'll just go on some shit he learned in his fake college. It's a lie. And they know it's a lie. They know it's a lie. They know it's a lie. Go ahead, Mike.
And they're followed by the people of European ancestry. They're saying the people of European ancestry follows the East Asians, and with the Neanderthal DNA. Recently, when you talk about the
go ahead.
Go on.
Yeah, but they only have like 2 to 5%. If an African spike had sex with a Neanderthal and created an Asian, whether it be East Indian or Han Chinese, and then a Caucasian, the admixture would be 50% human and 50% Neanderthal. They only got 2 to 5%. That means what they're saying is a lie. It means they're created because they got all other kind of animals in that shit. Like I said, that octopus up in there. So it's not, if I had sex with a Neanderthal, like me, a black man, my baby would be half human and half Neanderthal. But they don't got that. You see what I'm saying? You get me?
I get you.
Yeah, so you know what they're saying is a lie.
And recently there was
Go ahead.
I'm saying recently there was a research that shows that people with Neanderthal DNA are more susceptible to the COVID-19, but then again they let that sleep.
Ain't it funny? Yeah, ain't it funny? But you Africans don't have Neanderthal genetics. That's why you're not susceptible to this COVID shit. How about that? That's why you're not susceptible to this shit, because you got the strongest genetics because you're non-animal. How about that? But the Khoisan are the oldest people. You out of your rabbit ass mind. So I want you to do this, Spike. The lies. Khoisan is created from a goddamn chimp. And it's not the oldest human being. I want you to pull up pull up this when we say images of the map with people with E1B1A genetics. Who's on the globe with E1B1A? Yeah, I guess say images of the population of the people with E1B1A. That's your original African, and that's your original genetics. You got subgroups. You have subgroups now because of people marrying and interbreeding with other motherfuckers and shit. The African sharing his genes. Everybody have E1B1A.
From what I can see, the map on the left is a map of the haplogroup. It's the haplogroup E1B1 discussion group, and they saying this is a E1B1 E1B1B, a regional distribution.
No, not B. Not B. That comes later. That becomes a mutation. E1B1A.
Okay, E1B1A. Okay, let me find it. This is a E1B, the E1 B1A genetics from what I see, and this is the map itself that has the people in Ghana, which is at 242, Nigeria 1181, Cameroon at 266 on the left, the right, and Ethiopia at 108. The people with E1B1A. This is also what I see from this particular shade of a color. This is in Ghana. This is in Nigeria. This is Cameroon. Also, I believe this is Angola at this particular point. I believe maybe this is Zimbabwe. Yeah, this is Zimbabwe or Zambia right here. And South Africa itself, Mozambique. And also we do have Madagascar. And also this is Ethiopia and Kenya at this particular point. Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, and a little bit of Somalia from this particular end. This is the distribution from what I see on that particular map.
Okay, so those are your original people from Kenya all the way over to who left coming out of Kemet. The original people coming into E1B1A, which go down to Kenya, all the way across to Nigeria, all the way over to Ghana, all the way up. But you got slight variations. Those are slight variations you would have as well. It goes into E1B1B, E1, but these are these are your original human beings. So when I say you're the same people, that's what it means. From Kenya down to Zimbabwe, Zambia over to Cameroon, over the damn Nigeria and Ghana. But then you start getting mutations on that genetic strain, but it's still the original, but you start getting slight mutations. Now, mutations doesn't mean hybridize. Mutation comes through nature. All other Africans that come from those Africans started to have mutation. Like, and then you got all the fucked up shit because you start what? Intermixing with white Arabs and all other kind of shit. but those people who from Kenya over who kept Tanzania, kept their genome, are your original human beings. They're older than any goddamn Khoisan. They're your people from Kemet. They're your people from around the world.
Let me get the comments a little bit from the family. Hair like fine wool, skin like a bronze. You're saying a reason why we should never use the word history or history when referring to our story. For whenever we say and use the words history, historical or historically, we are confirming its history. That is a bit of some wordplay, not really wordplay, but I get what you're saying. Hair like fine wool, skin like brown prose. You're saying we should also focus on our own on our own history, not history, all history. And about me now, for you saying our whole school over 500 plus of 500 plus cleared out immediately. I didn't get a comment early on. Mr. Peregrine, I was asking for you earlier. I haven't seen you for a minute. I was wondering where you have disappeared off to, and you were saying that's why you put shellfish DNA in the corona beer shots. Let me get a comment from Ali. I think I'm missing out on what the comments were earlier on. General Mosquito, you're saying he's speaking like he's reading right out of a book. And here, like Final says, like, I can't. I'm quickly losing all patents with the narrator who is rambling because he's got no idea what he's rambling on about for what he does not know. He's made up and words he's unable to make.
That guy was reading out of a book. What they do. That's copy and paste. They read the other people's bullshit. White people, they say, yeah, it's coincide of the oldest people. That's a lie. It's a lie. You just proved right there. They're not E1B1A, and they have Neanderthal genetics. So they're not no first people. So we know that. But they're gonna stick to that lie. I mean the lie's been debunked. It's not that the lie's been debunked, but the white man's still gonna keep going with it. He likes to cause confusion. He's gonna keep the same confusing ass lie up. It's a lie. Lie when he first told it, it's still a lie today.
What I see Bombi Damfa is actually eager, and he says, for some reason, I want to know if I am a created African. I might not be able to answer that, but what I do know, there is also.
Aren't you from Gambia? And the answer is no.
He probably has some cousins. I'm saying he probably has some cousins. I'm saying he probably has some cousins in Zimbabwe who are created the ostrich people. Remember, we have talked about the ostrich people who are known as the Vadoma, who do have some ostrich legs.
People, those are, unless he's got some people unless he married into the ostrich people.
Bumpy, I know Bumpy has some cousins in Zimbabwe. Yeah.
But sad enough, a lot of his Ethiopian friends are created Africans. That's a fucking fact. Well, they call themselves Ethiopians today. They were never Ethiopians through history. At all. At all. They can be Ethiopians today, but they got nothing to do with ancient Ethiopia at all. And I know that's why they changed the name. So everybody's all confused. The ancient Ethiopians. It ain't them people. That ain't no ancient Ethiopia. No, you sit over there. You're an original human being, Mumpy. You're an original. That's why when they lie, see the whole thing what the white man does, when he does his genome with the lie, he tries to split up Africans through phenotype and not genetics. Oh, they look completely different. This African looks a little bit different. Well, phenotype, Africans make all phenotypes. That's why you got crackers that look the way that, mixed with an animal. Mixed with a damn animal. You got the phenotype of the European and the Asians. You got to have an animal with it too, though. But Africans have all color spectrums and phenotypes within the race. Doesn't make them a different race. That's the white man's slick ass divide and conquer. Everything he does about power, how to divide and conquer. Those ones they show you on TV, those are not Ethiopians and those are not original Africans. That's an ad mixture of a whole bunch of animal parts up in that shit. And they hate being African. That's how you know they're not an African. They hate being black. That's why that guy said, that's why that white man doing the damn doc, whatever he's doing, different from the darkest African. What? What are you talking about? The darkest African. Like that's a bad thing. I mean, that's a good thing, stupid. The darkest African. Those are.
Those are the only people in Ethiopia you will find, they are not Africans. They want to be associated with the Arabs.
Exactly. The original Ethiopians are there, but they are the original Abyssinians, I should say, that are Africans. They never show them. They show the hybrid cats in Ethiopia. The hybrids represent that place, not the original African. The hybrids.
I see Mommy Delphi is messing with me. He's asking if I'm ostrich. Yeah, you should see my toes. Anyway, I also wanted to get more of the comments. I see Mr. LBN says ancient Ethiopia is Nubia, isn't it? I don't.
Yes, ancient. Yes. Ancient Ethiopia is Nubia. Exactly.
And was Nubia part of the Aksum Empire that you have talked about sometimes back right here, or was it another different part?
Aksum destroyed the Nubian Empire. They finally, that's how Nubia collapsed. Aksum invaded it and took it over. That's how Nubia finally fell. It fell to Aksum. They came and invaded and knocked it over. Nubia lasted for so long. It was one of the strongest warrior empires, older than Kemet, lasted longer than Kemet. That's why they buried all that information underneath the Aswan Dam. we got to drown all this information. But as we know, genetically speaking, like I said, it's stupid to try to call yourself something different. We know that the African was up in Kemet. Then when he was getting invaded, he went up. I don't like to use the countries. I don't like to use let's say some people stopped in Kenya. Some people kept going all the way over to Mali. Some people went down to Ghana. Some went down to South Africa. Some went to Zimbabwe. Then you became a whole bunch of dumb, goofy-ass tribes. But you went into the interior Africa where you wanted to stop is where you decided to stop. You're not a different people. When you would get invaded, you start going southern into the continent. Some people went west, some people went south, some people stayed there on the east. That's what I'm trying to show that genome from the east to west. What's what I said? I'm an East African, and you get some other dummy. I'm a West African. Well, dummy, you're just an African. You're not an East or West African. And the funny part about it, you know what? You ain't know your directions because the planet is upside down. They got control of the planet. So the idiot called himself an East African is really in West Africa. And the idiot calling himself a West African is really in East Africa. If you want to get technical, go ahead, Spike. Because Spike is not sitting in East Africa. He's actually in West Africa. And that's a fact. Spike is not in East Africa. He's in West Africa. Because they flipped the globe upside down in your mind. They couldn't really flip the planet upside down, but they did it in your mind and on all the maps. Planet flipped upside down.
I believe even the size of the content itself is not portrayed as it is. It's made smaller. Bombi Danford, you're saying it pisses me off when Abyssinian women call themselves Nubian queens, and they're trying to steal the shine. That is why they also want to call themselves Abyssinia. And they are different people. But nonetheless, Monique Hill also calls them imposters. Yes, that is exactly what they are. Sister Nishpena, thank you so much for joining us on the show. You're saying black is everything. And General Moscow says I might have some lion in me. Yeah, they might have done some gene splitting. And they did take out some over. Anyway, Mr. LBN says General Mosquito Demon Condor Totem is what you both seem like you're talking about. The Yalnao Totem. Kemet Ethics talks about this. I do not know about it myself.
Also, what I showed you, 2 African people, which I showed you, everybody knows, have what? 9 strands of genetic code. All other hybrids only have 6. That's another fact. So you can evolve backwards. If these Khoisan were here before the black African, the Khoisan only has 6 genetic code. The black African has 9. We know the chimpanzee has 5. And so if I made you from an animal to a human being, that gives you 1 more strand of genetics. That's why everybody has 6. And the African has 9. That's a fact. They've already did that little bit of science. They copyrighted, but they're not telling anyone. Remember when I went back and showed you that on that video? They know that. The black African has 9 strands of genetic code. That means he's the first. He's original. All other people only have 6. Ain't that funny? So there is no evolving backwards. So did no damn black African come from no fucking pygmy midget from no damn Khoisan at all. The Khoisan came from the black African. That's why the Khoisan's behavior is like a what? A chimpanzee. You get it? That's why they eat fucking termites and all that kind of shit and be all in the trees trying to get ants and eat that shit.
They're chilling. They're chilling.
Go ahead, Spike.
I'm saying they're chilling, having their best meal, and you're just falling it for them.
Yeah.
There's a question that comes. That is Mr. LBN saying that kid. Since the planet map is upside down and the Earth orbits in the solar on a 45 degrees axis, would it be safe to assume that they came from the underworld and Antarctica sees a northern star? You're saying would it be safe?
Came from the underworld. I don't know about the underworld. I know that it did that so you don't know how energy flows. This is a prison planet. All right, this individual, this black person, which you call Yahweh, Jehovah, controls this existence. He's not a god. It's a being that sits maybe 1 or 2 vibratory level higher than you. And so what they did when his hybrids got control of the planet, they flipped the planet in your mind. They showed the planet upside down so you don't know how energy flows. If you don't know all your ancient science no more, now you're scared of it. When the body dies, you don't know how to get out of the prison planet. You're going to be reincarnated. You just come back into another black body and start all over again. You know, you'll be born in Africa, you'll be Mumphrey Danford. Shit, when you be born again, you're somebody named James sitting in Toledo, Ohio, America. Or next time you come back, you're some Negro in Brazil speaking Portuguese. You don't know. That's what but now it's the end game. I want to holler out your brain and get rid of you. Because this time the energy is really energy is starting to climb too high. You might be able to get out of here and escape the prison that I created. And that means you'll fight me. Go ahead, Spike.
No, I was asking, there's some individuals who believe that you might come back and be housed in a lower vibrating being, such as an animal.
Nah, you can't be housed in no, because you're black. The energy's already in you. You can't go lower. You can't go lower than what you are. That's why you come back as a black person, because your energy can't be housed in a white person unless you're a high being and can control your energy marker. And we know we're not that. We keep coming back to this existence like that Yahweh motherfucker. He can raise and lower his frequency enough to sit one of these white people and be talking to you when he knows that's his ass. Remember, the body's just an avatar. The body's just an avatar. A meat suit, a meat modem. But we don't know how to do that. We don't know how to, we're not powerful enough to, where we can house our light into a lower vibrational entity, or avatar. We don't got control of our energy like that. So us being what we are, we're always gonna come back as black. You're not gonna never come back as white. Your energy is too high. But what they're trying to do is lower your energy finally. You're right. That's what he's doing now with the vaccination. Remember, because he's trying to affect your light code. And if I affect your light code, then I can house your ass into a white person or one of these white aliens they're trying to do. They're trying, like I told you, they're working you to the singularity. I'm glad people now saying, I've been saying forever, you sound crazy. I don't sound crazy now, motherfucker. They're trying to work you to the singularity, where they're going to house you in a non-organic entity where you'll never get out of it. That body will never die. So you'll never break this existence. You'll just be living forever in this fucked up body. You'll never get out of here.
And
And you
see,
and you as a creative part of the all, you're supposed to get out here and go throughout the whole universe and go through dimension as you rise in vibratory frequency and more knowledge and more spirituality. You're supposed to rise in dimension, and you're supposed to go throughout the whole universe, exploring it and creating your own shit. That's your existence. You're created along with the true all, like this Yahweh is. They created these fucking things. That's what you can do. You are a creator. You used to levitate. I'm glad I heard that black scientist say it the other day. Told the truth. He said black people used to be able to levitate all this shit. I don't care what they say. All the evidence is it. That's right. You used to fucking fly. You didn't need no airplane. All that stuff is in you. If you're African and a melanated person, all these things that we learned from Africa we thought were jokes. This ain't no joke. This is real. But I showed you that video of that brother levitating, him getting back just a little bit of those powers. When that energy goes up and them powers come back online, you'll just think in Canada. You'll be African. Your ass will switch and you'll jump straight to Canada, or you'll switch straight to fucking Brazil. That's real. That's what you can do. And so that's what they know you're about to be. But when you be able to now jump and break the magnetic field that wraps around the planet, if you break that, all your Akashic record comes back online. You know everything. Everything in the universe you know. Now you're fighting for power of this galaxy. That's what this thing is trying to stop. This Yahweh. Yeah, they Spike to show him. This is real. It's not a gag. This is not a joke. What this African shaman doing is real. As your powers come back online, you be flying all over the damn place again. Play it, Spike. I'm quiet. Go ahead, play.
Let me play a little bit of the video.
If you're talking about Jesus being a Christian or Islam, you can't do none of this shit. Islam and Christianity don't work doing none of this. This is what's real. Go ahead, Spike.
Are even documented in the Bible, which defy the forces of gravity. This man, whose name is Ovaku, is an African shaman, and here we can see him preparing himself for a levitation. This will take place as soon as darkness begins to fall. The images which this film has recorded are scarcely to be credited. There are no hidden supports or pulleys to be seen. In spite of this, Ovaku actually rises off the ground, and it seems as though he is floating on a cushion of air. The German commentator cannot believe his eyes. There is no question that this is a trick or an illusion, and he's absolutely convinced that he's witnessing a miraculous event, and that the film is incontrovertible proof that levitation is indeed possible. A second cameraman can now be seen hurrying to the side so that he can get close-up pictures of the fascinating event. Could it be that there are in fact invisible fields of force which this shaman is able to take advantage of? The shaman's breathing has become unusually fast, and his face is contorted with the effort of the undertaking. Could the technique which we are witnessing here be the very same technique which is said to be practiced in India?
What you see him doing, he's manipulating the magnetic field around him. He's manipulating the magnetic field around him, which all Africans used to know how to do. If you're a nutty-ass Christian or a goofy-ass Muslim nut, oh, it's the devil. He's channeling the devil. All kind of idiotic nonsense. No, he's channeling God, you dummy. The real God, the all. And what he's learned how to do is channel back to the all, which is loosening up the magnetic field around his avatar against his light. And this is in every African man, woman, and child. The shaman just remembers how to do it, and lot of this stuff, like I said, went underground. When you had the invasion of the white Arab with that Islam goofy shit, the invasion of the white Christian with that lie and goofy shit, all of them came from Yahweh, who was waging war against you, who's been waging war against you with these fake religions, worshiping that thing, which is not a goddamn God at all. At all. Had you suppressed all your abilities, but going out of when the frequency loaded on the planet, you lost all this. And now the frequency is going back up, and you're going to gain all this right here. That's why they're trying to vaccinate you, black people. All this shit, even if you're the dumbest African, don't even know what's going on. This shit is coming back online because this is part of your genetic makeup. This is part of your genetic makeup. This is the stuff that you're able to do through your melanin. That's why the world has told you to hate black. That fucking entity. Hate black and skin bleaching black is bad. Blackness is bad. Motherfucker, blackness is God, damn it. Blackness is God. From the dark comes the light. From the dark comes the light. The black makes every light spectrum. You don't know that? Black makes every light spectrum. Black. Black in the genetics, the stronger you are, the closer you are to the all. Better get that through your fucking thick head. That's why that black man can do that and can't no goddamn a Caucasian man do that. You know that? Find me a video of a Caucasian man doing that. I'll wait. Ain't he the Jesus? Ain't he the Allah? Find me a Caucasian Arab or a Caucasian cracker doing that. And I'll laugh in your damn face. You know why? I know they can't do it. Because they don't vibrate high enough. Because they're full of fucking animal genetics. Go ahead, Spike. You go and finish playing it.
Ovaku then suddenly drops back down to the ground like a stone. It seems as though the very same field of force which appeared to hold them up in the air has now been totally used up.
That's right.
The shaman is exhausted.
It's exhausted because it took all his energy there to feel the force. He was able to open up the field, the magnetic field. But as the frequency gets high, black people all be able to do that. And that's what they're going to try to. That's why you're getting vaccinated. That's why they vaccinate you Negroes. And you used to be able to also to be able to see in other dimensions as African people. That's another reason why they gave you vaccination. Cut off your field of sight through the veil. Because you're spiritual. Now you've been given religion. Now you're more religious. You're not spiritual. You goofy niggas are not spiritual. You're religious. You're running after white men. Come on, let's chase white Jesus. But let's go to white Allah. And you're walking around a fucking a stone in Saudi Arabia calling that the Holy Land. You out of your holy ass mind. That's all the universe gonna be there, and that's the devil and all this crazy shit. Go ahead, Spike. You got it.
I was just saying that, of course, there's some people who want to say that that is camera tricks and everything else. But nonetheless,
They can't say it's camera. The camera's right there. white people tell you they're not camera tricks. You know, they don't understand it. There's no camera tricks in there. Like you said, no wires. These are not camera tricks. And you go to Tanzania, they'll do it for you. Go out in the bush, but once they know you're all right, you got to get to know people. They're not going to share it. Or you can go down to, just like when Credo Muwa said when they took him up to get initiated up in Rwanda, he said, well, it wasn't called Rwanda then. Back then, he said, you know, they took me up to the country now known as Rwanda, by the Great Sea. It was 7 shamans vibrating, just flying in the air. I said, my God, how are they doing this? I'm trying to do my South African accent. I said, my God, how are they doing this? That we're greater than any religion the white man gave us. But you have to go underground. He's like, shit. Go ahead, Frank.
People themselves could not really actually also understand what was going on with also, you know, the kind of prophecies he was talking about and his interpretation of some of the visions that he did have. Unapologetically black one, you're saying you ever seen anybody do that in person? And also, kid, used to think Mecca was the most spiritual place. I do not know about.
Do I think what is the most spiritual place?
Is that was Mr. Bombi down for saying kid. I used to think Mecca was the most spiritual place where they do have they go for
Mecca. Do I think Mecca? I think Mecca's not spiritual at all. It's the most spiritual place. Hell no. That the religion's made up. No, is Mecca spiritual? No, absolutely not. Look at the civilization of Saudi Arabia. They treat the women like shit. They chop off motherfucking people's heads. No, nothing spiritual about none of that shit at all. It's like the Vatican. Go to the Vatican. You think the Vatican is spiritual? The beginning of Christianity? No. It's nothing but ripped off African spirituality because they're not spiritual people. And it's ripped off African spirituality, made into a religion to worship that Yahweh thing, that Yahweh Negro. That's what it is, that Yahweh person. He's got the animals that he created to worship him. And then to turn around and get the real Africans who he's trying to wipe out to worship his ass too. Like I told you, with Christianity, anybody doing any kind of blood drinking and eating of the body, that's low vibrational shit. You're dealing with any kind of blood. It's a blood ritual. And you have a dumbass Christian. I don't practice Satanism, but dummy, that's what you're doing when you're going to church. That's why the devil, what you call the devil, and your God is one and the same, dummy. You got no clue. You don't have any clue. You have to talk about drinking blood, eating bodies. What? Talking about a blood sacrifice. And that's when you get to the adrenochrome, drinking of blood and killing children. Remember, you had an uptick. Remember now you got an uptick in children missing. Why is that? Because the frequency is changing. It's hard for these entities who come from another dimension to house themselves in these Europeans because the frequency is changing. So they got to have more children's blood so it can match with the frequency of this dimension. Go look it up if you don't believe you got more kids missing last summer. How's that possible? Why are these kids always missing? Because the elite that run the world are the ones killing them and drinking their damn blood, popping over the back of their head.
Kid, you remember there was some individual that went on and was apologizing because you were saying that that particular presenter on CNN was, drinking blood. That was Cooper Anderson. There was someone who was apologizing to Cooper Anderson because they had actually earlier said that he was drinking blood, and they went on and Cooper Anderson recently, I think that was last weekend, Cooper Anderson was was getting an apology because the individual said that Cooper drinking Anderson Cooper of CNN. Someone actually put out the information.
Okay, Well, he probably is drinking blood. I'm sure he is. They all do. His mama, all that sick shit was going on. His mama at the Vanderbilt mansion over there in Asheville. All that wicked ass, all them wicked ass portraits of child abuse, children being tortured, and all that crazy shit.
So they decided to put out a video recently of him and one of the individuals who had said that he was drinking the blood. He was eating the babies and
Right, was, but they're not gonna admit they own everything, Spike. He's one of those Ashkenazim. They have the blood type. They own everything. So they're gonna always do what? Disinformation. They own all the media everywhere. I don't give a fuck if you're in Kenya, Angola, Nigeria, and America. They own it. They own it all. That's why I told you China's becoming a police state. That's why you go to China, which they control. China's going to be the template for the planet. This is what this Yahweh wants to do. He wants to be able to lock you down. Remember, connect your brain to the internet thing, AI technology. The singularity is what I told you. Connect your brain to a computer so you'll never get out of this existence. Come the Internet of Things. It's the singularity. Starting with China. That's why in China, you cannot go nowhere. You cannot do nothing because they got facial recognition everywhere. Got AI technology. If you do anything that the state doesn't like, you can't leave your home. You can't get on public transportation. They're using a digital money. That's what the Yahweh is doing. It's complete lockdown of the planet. Becoming a prison planet. You better see what's coming. And who controls China? Ashkenazim. That's the first test place. They want to do it here. They're going to try to do it. But you got too many guns. Thank God. Only thing you got in America. And thank God for the racist cracker, too. He got those guns. Thank God that we got these motherfucking guns. They've been trying for years to get the guns out of America. Thank God you got these guns over here. They've been trying to frost flags and get rid of guns. Oh, how we get rid of guns? Get the guns out. Hands out the guns. Hell no. Only stuff is you got these guns in America. Everybody's got a goddamn gun. And that's a great goddamn thing. When you're and
yeah, they're breaking up. Yeah, they're breaking up. I can't really hear what you just. Yeah, the last bit, and what you just said. But nonetheless, they will actually make, these particular individuals twist up the story, and they know what's happening with that. Nonetheless, let me get a comment. Are you talking about Anderson Cooper? Yeah, that is not Cooper Anderson. It's Anderson. Yeah, that is the individual I'm talking about, melanated warrior. Nonetheless, touching on the main topic of the day before we get back, I think Keith is in a bad internet area, but nonetheless, let me share briefly on what was happening, of course, with this particular recent nomination of the Black Lives Movement. And this is really yet another one, really to pull a fast one on Black people who still believe that, the Black Lives Movement has anything to do with Black people and trying to give back credibility to this particular movement by giving them an award. For one of the things I do know, you can never agitate for your rights and be given an award for that. You cannot really be a solid movement or a credible movement, pushing for justice and then be given a trophy for it or be given an award for it. But right now, as it is, the BLM movement has been nominated for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize, and of course, we do have 3 individuals. 3 of them. Of course, these are the individuals are born from around 1980. I believe one of them was in 1981, 1983, and 1984. And it was, of course, launched in 2013. And now they're saying that they want to give them a Nobel Peace Prize for this quest for justice and the fight, against systematic racism that has resulted to the death of so many people in the hands of the police.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hear me now?
I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, okay. So what you got is a template.
We lost you again, kid. We lost you again. We lost kid again. You can only hear. Maybe it's on my end. Please do let me know if it's on my end. If you can hear me, if you can hear kid, please do let me know. Maybe it might be on my end. Maybe it could be. I'm not sure. Ziman is saying this is a more symbolic bullshit. Yes, this does not have any tangibles. And if someone is, like I was saying earlier, agitating for their rights or agitating for a change, I do not see why there should be any kind of a trophy being given. And going back to some of the individuals who have been given the Nobel Peace Prize and are going back into digging their credibility or digging their contribution, you shall find that the examples of Obama himself. And also we do have a Nelson, was it Nelson Mandela? I think also Nelson Mandela did get a Nobel Peace Prize. We also do have Desmond Tutu, also of South Africa. We also do have recently, I believe last year, was it last year or last year, but one, there was a giving of the Ethiopian Prime Minister, the Nobel Peace Prize. And all these particular individuals, it's the same kind of a situation going back into credibility. There is a much to do with really just having a sentimental kind of a crowning. And I believe this is more bullshit. But nonetheless, you shall still find people still believing that there is something in this particular one. And of course, this is yet another LGBTQ movement that has nothing to do with Black people. And even I believe the originators of this Nobel Peace Prize are also the same, Jews.
They're the same people who created the damn Black Lives Matter. That's what their media talks about. Black Lives Matter. Same people who created Black Lives Matter. Has nothing to do with Black people. It's about homosexuals and transgender and dick in the booty Negroes, all kind of goofy shit. Has nothing to do with Black people, but they keep what? Validating them and giving them some kind of credibility. That's them doing that.
I think I lost you again, Keith. I think we're having a problem. Yeah, we're having a problem. Are you having a problem on your end? And of course, I was saying that even if you go back and are looking at the funding of this particular organization, you do have to ask yourselves whether these three individuals did have the capability of actually funding a nationwide movement, and not just a nationwide movement, but even a movement that went into other different places. For example, there was a protest also going in the UK and other different parts of the world. If you ask yourself if Alicia Gaza or Patrice Akalas or even Opal Tometi did have the funding to be able to push, for or create a nationwide movement and do, have to put in the resources.
Who had the money? Who had the money to create it? Black people got the money. They're poor. Black people live on the margin. So when no bootlegging entertainer or athlete going to do it, and they don't got that kind of money either. So it came from the same enemy. It's nothing but a psyop. I wanted to share this video that somebody did great research on Martin Luther King. Shout out! I want to get Spikes to play this thing. And same research I did. Brother did it even better. He said, man, YouTube probably going to take this down. That brother did such great research on Martin Luther King. And I told you the psyop by the same Ashkenazim, but the brother did great work. I'm going to send this video to you, Spike. But I don't know if I should play it. Nah, I bet not play it. Nah, hell no. He might get taken down. Yeah. They'll take it down. Because he's getting taken down on his channel. But it's a brilliant piece of investigative work.
But you can still
connected all the dots. Huh?
You can still send me the video, then I'll copy the link and share it with the family. The family can also watch it from the chat. I think I can still also share.
Yeah, okay. I'll send it to you now. Let them go ahead see it themselves. send this link to you.
And Melanated warrior, you're saying all BLM pushes is a cowardice and deviant behavior. If you remember correctly, last year when you were talking about even the BLM, the co-founders, and we were talking about one of the individuals, I believe that was a Patrice. I think that was a Patrice was looking for a meeting or a meeting with Biden and Harris. But I don't believe Biden did not, there wasn't, that meeting did not happen, or if it did, I'm not aware of the meeting happening. I think they all brushed off, and the Biden and the Harris campaign did not have time for the BLM because they know that the BLM does not represent Black people, neither does it have any kind of out, because it's just about all the LGBTQ and are really what they want, on their day. But that is also a question also to be put in place, because even if there is this particular kind of Nobel Peace Prize, that puts in a very, very big question mark when it comes to the matter of...
Okay, Mike, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Okay, let me share with let me drop the link on the chat. Yeah, Haki, I'll also send it to you. I think I can mail it to you. You can also pick it up from let me see if I can share it on the chat. There's something that has been going on in South Africa, even as I load that particular video. There has been something that has been going on with South Africa, and this has to do with inappropriate behavior. And what has happened recently, I'll also get that particular link. What has been happening recently is that in South Africa, they have decided that they want to appoint a Chinese, to become an MP in their own country. And these have resulted to a very, very big uproar in South Africa. There has been a very, very big uproar as a South African has decided.
They don't run the country. That's what they get. They don't run the country. These Negroes don't run the country. They don't run shit but their mouth. They don't run the country. They don't run nothing but their mouth. They don't run the economic. They don't own no land. They don't own the economic wealth of their own country. 90% of all the land is controlled, 95% is controlled by all white people or foreigners. The diamond mine, the gold mine, controlled by white people. Or control nothing, so they don't run nothing but their mouth. Julius Malema was put up there as a puppet, just like a Martin Luther King, to divert the energy of the real people that want to overthrow the wicked system. They always keep saying some old righteous shit, and nothing never changes. They never do nothing. It's just to stopgap the emotions of Black people.
But Keith, look, she has her South African attire. Why are you saying she's not South African? She has her South African attire.
Who's that? Who's that?
This is a damn Chinese playing games on the South African. She has a South African. I don't know. This is a Chinese. This is a damn Chinese.
Chinese lady. Yeah, Chinese lady. Some symbolism. That's the pacifier. Mike, that's the pacifier, the dumb Negro. Look at same way the Indian now is all in Kenya. We are a Indian Kenyan tribe. What are you talking about? I'm a Kenyan tribe. Kenya's been wealthy for us Indians since the damn European brought us in here. So we want to have ownership of the country by claiming to be a tribe of Kenya. Go ahead.
And it doesn't get. This is inappropriate behavior, because you will not see any South African are getting sold in any Chinese. They'll actually even kill.
Of course not.
They'll kill you before you can open your mouth.
That's right. He'll get a kung fu chop across the face.
They will actually kill you before you open your mouth to go and take vow, or what do you call it, getting sworn in. And this is a Chinese migrant, Sia Xiaomei, Harvard by the ruling African. And this is actually the ANC. This is the national party, not the national party, but the ruling party, which is the ANC, the party of Nelson Mandela. Is the same party.
Created and controlled by white people. Okay, well, created and controlled by white people. And what? I ain't about the ruling. What has the ANC done since it's been in power 30? Why are the Africans, South Africans still in poverty, don't own shit, like ANC? What has the ANC done? Absolutely nothing. Damn, look, they're calling me, man. Hold on, Spike. I gotta come back in.
I don't know
Yeah.
who is calling you, so, but you remember there was also the Ghanaians who were carrying the dirty Chinese on their shoulders, and they all say that they want to give him a chief position in Ghana, and of course that was met by a lot of opposition, and at the end of the day they had to remove, or they had to receive that particular honors, and giving him the chief position in Ghana. But I do believe as the African people, we do lack our self-preservation. At the end of the day, I think what we're lacking is that even we do lack a code. There is a lot of everyone else will come and ride on the backs of black people and be given the position of a chief, be given the position of a minister, be given the position of an MP. I still do not know whether she was a nominated member of parliament. I'm still yet to find out how she actually came to be, sworn into parliament. But of course, this is how we do find inappropriate behavior in the African continent. And of course, this is a position of the CDE Jackson Matembu, and represent the Gauteng province, where she has lived for a couple of years now. And the ANC party announced the candidature of the Chinese together with some other 4 members in an official communique, which stated that the appointment was necessitated by the passing on of some members of parliament. And I remember sometimes back right here on the Africa Today show, I was showing some videos of the illegal migrants, the Chinese in South Africa. And some of them have gotten there illegally and pretending that they do not even know they are there illegally. When they were stopped by the police, there was one particular video I was sharing with us, I believe that was last year, of the Chinese in Africa, and the Chinese misbehaving in Africa. And also, I don't know. Remember the video?
Chinese in a South. A Chinese woman's in a South African garb. That's what they do. Black people since you've been told so much self-hate, you get all emotional because some no good enemy of yours puts on your damn African attire. Oh, look at them trying to assimilate. They're not trying to assimilate, stupid. They're trying to dominate your dumb ass. They're not trying to assimilate. They're trying to dominate. That's the whole thing.
You remember that the Nigerian brother, he was saying that they are there to create jobs. They are in Nigeria to go and create jobs, and it's nothing wrong.
That's why they look, and that's why the Chinese call what? The African a dummy. The Chinese say you're dumb and you deserve to be dominated. That's what the Chinese said. The African is a dummy, doesn't know when people are his enemy, and deserves to be dominated. So let us dominate these dummies. That's their words, not mine. And he proven right, because you got, like you said, the Nigerian that was on the show. Oh, they're our friends. They're coming to help. How they help, dummy? You didn't see in Nigeria where they made a restaurant and said your black ass couldn't come in the restaurant in your own country in Africa? You missed that memo, huh, stupid? That they created a Nigerian Chinese restaurant and said your black ass can't come in it. And you're in Africa. But they're there to be your friend. Either you are some kind of bumbling idiot. You can't make it up. That shit was supposed to be burned down to the ground that day. Not closed. Burned down to the ground. And those Asians whipped to the inch of their goddamn life. And then deported. Get your rice-eating ass out of here. Don't bring your funky ass back here either.
And the irony of the day is that the South Africans will be out there fighting everyone else. They will actually go out and light up, burn down the stores of the Zimbabweans, or burn down the stores owned by Nigerians. But then any other Chinese wearing South African attire can come in and say,
anytime I tell your friends, dummy, China is a totalitarian state, dummy. They're trying to bring, but they don't keep, the dumb Asian don't control China. He's like a henchman for the Rothschilds and Rockefeller. Ashkenazi control his slanty head ass. But they want to implement this system all over the world. This AI technology that they want to bring to Africa with these puppets. That's why these puppets the youth is going to have to murder every last one of them and their family members. I'm going to put this on private, because I mean it. Because they're bringing the AI to dumbass, coon-ass niggas like Museveni, coon-ass niggas like Kenyatta, coon-ass niggas like Bahari, coon-ass niggas like Kofi Adada, Dudu, whatever that goofy nigga name is. He's got these goddamn puppets. The only one that's going to go against it is going to be John Magufuli. And they're going to have a bullet waiting for his ass still. Go ahead, Spike.
I'm just saying that there's a comment that has been, shared by Lando Winter. He says, Lando Winter says, this is an example of what is to come on the continent of Africa. A new imperial leadership in place with China becoming the new face of power. And once you let these people into your parliament, then of course that's the end game for you. You're letting them into parliament, giving them this position simply because you feel that you want to have not call it a cosmopolitan,
but exist. Once they bring AI technology, they don't need them as presidents no more. They got control of the country.
Hey,
The country's gonna be ran on autopilot.
when Keith said something about a Chinese restaurant in Kenya, and they didn't allow Kenyans into the restaurant, right?
No, that was Nigeria.
That was Zambia.
No, Zambia yeah, that was in Zambia and Nigeria. That was in Nigeria too. That was in Zambia and Nigeria.
Well, what if, because they've already had a connection of Chinese eating Africans, what if they serving African meat up in there? That's why they don't allow them up in there, because they killing them and they cutting their ass up.
Well, they already done that. Yeah, they were cutting them up and shipping them back to China as meat. And that's another thing. Why has nobody done? I mean, why hasn't? That's an act of goddamn war. That's an act of war. Chopping up African people and selling them as meat on the open market. You out of your rat. That's an act of fucking war.
I bet you they doing that shit
You don't
at
get
the
no more
restaurants.
act of war than that.
No, you don't. But how many ways you got to be disrespected before motherfuckers do? If nobody's responding to the acts of war, it ain't what is it? It's just being mean. What is it? It's ridiculous.
Act of damn war.
Let me share. This was actually, I believe this was actually in Zambia. Let me share a brief of the clip right here, and I'll see what was going on with the people of Zambia really quick. Then we shall get onto the matter, because how do you let these people also come into your parliament and run matters? Because it shall start with one, the next thing you know there are two, the next thing you know there are three of them, and what happens that there is also a takeover of your own nation.
Welcome back to. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if today is the first time coming here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it, and tell me what you think in the comments section below. Yes, and I want to ask you this question: how can an African be a foreigner in his own country? How can a black man be a foreigner in his own continent, Africa? Well, this is what is currently happening in Zambia, because a black man, a Zambian man who has a Chinese girlfriend, went to this restaurant to eat, and he was told the black man, cannot enter the restaurant. He was turned down from entering the restaurant, but his Chinese girlfriend was allowed to enter the restaurant, and this seemed to have angered the whole continent of Africa, the people of Zambia. And today, the Zambian authorities have decided to shut down this restaurant in Zambia. And well, I don't know whether to be happy or sad as an African, but I want you to watch this video and then tell me what you think in the comments section below.
Imagine being called a foreigner in your own country by a foreigner. Well, that's the predicament of a male Zambian national who has chosen to remain anonymous The man was on Saturday 10th away from a Chinese restaurant and shop called Lankins in Lusaka's Long Acres for being black and a foreigner in his own country. The man was in the company of his Chinese wife and now explains.
These two other guys were in front of us. They went in this.
Yeah, that's the one in Zambia. I wouldn't talk about that one. I forgot about that one.
He had a Chinese girlfriend with him in that restaurant, and that is why they thought he
Chinese girlfriend. And when the mayor of Lusaka went to shut them down, since they in so much debt, the president came to the damn mayor, made him apologize. You should show that. Show that, Spike. How the damn president made the mayor apologize. I'm going to shut you down and throw you Chinese out the country. He had to come in. I'm sorry. He's talking to the Chinese like that. I had no right. That's in your country. You did have no right. But your country's so fucked up and you boot-licking ass niggas. You bumbling ass niggas. You're weak and you're feckless. That's why the Chinese said they should dominate you dumb niggas. Fuck you gonna be in somebody else's country, say they can't come in their own goddamn country. Go back and show that video, Spike. Go to Lusaka mayor apologizes to the Chinese.
Yes, after that particular incident, he took.
They've bought out the upper command within the as far as the African the nationals.
That's what I'm saying. By the government, by the man was shutting down Chinese stores and goddamn deporting their ass. Chinese called, hey, you better stop that nigga from doing his damn job. He had to come over. I'm sorry for doing. I messed up by shutting down the Chinese stores, even though they were illegal and they were doing bad. I'm sorry to Chinese people. We love you. We let you keep shitting on us because we're stupid and weak. Just
that
like you
exactly,
said we were.
That is exactly what happened. Let me share this briefly.
I know exactly what happened.
Lusaka Mayor Mal Sampa has apologized to the Chinese community in Zambia for closing their businesses accused of discriminating against Zambians and for using the term China. Addressing journalists this afternoon, Sampa said for closing and threatening Chinese-owned businesses. Last week, Sampa closed a Chinese-run restaurant in Long Acres and barbershop at a cave in Lusaka for allegedly discriminating against Zambian customers at the two venues. He also visited Sinoma Cement in Chongwe following a tip from concerned members of the public about workers being allegedly locked up for long hours by the company's Chinese owners.
It's fine. Yeah. Okay. My name is Malsam, the mayor of Lusaka. Okay. Your workers have called me that you don't allow them to go home. So I want to find out why you kept them for 2 weeks. And we've seen where they sleep. Mm-hmm. Why is that so? Why don't you allow them to knock off?
No, we're not allow them to go home because we know the corona issue.
It's the kind of shit that disgusts you. That's what I'm knocking an Asian got the fuck out. You get knocked the fuck out. I'm knocking your ass.
The very Chinese says people cannot go home because of corona.
So exactly, and yeah, like the man said, you about to wrong. You people are Asians. It came from you people. How the hell you talking about? They got the shit. Came from you. And I agree with these Zambians killing these Asians now. That's what's gotta happen. And I agree with the Kenyans.
It got to be guerrilla warfare. When you don't have the military presence, we got to do the guerrilla shit and break their monkey necks.
That is the Kenyans knocking their ass out, and the Americans that's over there. Like I said, you see the footage of the Americans over there just dragging these Asians, knocking their asses out from Nigeria to Gambia to Kenya. You think this motherfucker just a regular African? Nah, you fuck with an American, an African American or Black American, and you got caught slipping. As soon as you thought he was American, he's on that ass, whipping your ass up and down the street. Like that American whipping that Chinese motherfucker in Nigeria, just beating the shit out of his ass, or beating that motherfucker up in the Gambia.
When you
all in the damn.
Keith, that's when you whoop a motherfucker like a xylophone.
Just ripping the motherfucker all up in the damn candy store, with kind of store they had in the Gambia. Dragged his ass out, beat his ass, and took the candy and walked out. Or that one American beating up the guy inside that Kenyan park. And when you had the African tigers, these African Americans are so violent. They're beating up all our Asians. You're Asian. If you don't shut your coon ass up, these African Americans are beating up our Asians. You're Asians. Lady, the Asians ain't there to be your friend, you dummy. Beating up our Asians. The African Americans are so violent. They're beating up our Asians.
What is at the end of the day, you find them playing victims, and they know what they're all about to do in these particular countries such as Zambia, Nigeria, and all these are different places. So I think you missed out the conversation about the BLM and what you think that was all about, the BLM being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know if you
I heard you guys while I was running talking about the BLM, and truthfully, like I've always said, I think it's a psyop too. I've always said it's a psyop. Your enemy cannot provide you with any type of leadership, and that's exactly what the BLM is. And then first of all, their whole thing, what they stood for, was the breakdown of the polar family, which is polar meaning male and female. You know what I'm saying? So they want to have it where you got two lesbians raising a bunch of children on welfare type shit or something. I don't know what the hell but basically they want to rule the male. They want to remove the male presence and energy from the equation. And I'm anything that's like that. That's not natural. And I'm not for the BLM. Never have been. And when I came up, Spikes, BLM stood for the Bureau of Land Management. I'm a forestry major, so
right.
it ain't have shit to do with all this other bullshit.
That is the only BLM that Zoe knows. It doesn't know of any other. You're just about to ask who? What? Yeah, that's a BLM, the Bureau of you say Land Management or something. Until black people throughout the globe realized that they were the only enemy on the planet, not a damn thing will change. Yes, exactly. And people want to live in a bubble. People want to bury their hands in the sun and see them. Not every other person is bad. There's some individuals who are good and this and that and every other thing, and have an excuse for every other wrong that is being done to us and not have a solution. But you're saying until black people throughout the globe realize that we are the only enemy on the planet, not a damn thing will change. Change and balance will only change and balance will only be obtained with shedding of the enemy blood. I agree with you, and it has to be changed by force. And Sister Michelle of the BOB Reward Club, thank you so much for joining us. We're hoping to have you this week. If you are able to join us perhaps on Wednesday or Thursday, we would love to have you on the show as you discuss the matters to do with the supporting black businesses and getting also tell us about the opportunities you mentioned earlier. I believe you had said you had made that particular you had of course I mentioned about that last week. And maybe perhaps on a Wednesday or Thursday, I think you can set it up with Keith behind the scene, and you can join us perhaps on Wednesday or Thursday and discuss about these opportunities, and also tell us what is going on with the Black-owned businesses club. And of course, there has been some new recent advancements with that. And the network, I believe, is continuing to grow. And I also got another comment. This is just another bit mentality. I think we're talking about the mayor. I think you're talking about maybe the mayor in Lusaka and the way the Zambian people
some apologizes. I love it because it's funny. He apologized for doing his job. It's like Zoe said, the president of the country made him do the share. after the man did his job, started deporting their ass and shutting down these illegal businesses, he says, oh, well, I made a mistake. To you Chinese people, I'm sorry. You do what the fuck you want to do. I'm sorry.
We do like self-preservation. At the end of the day, no one can actually respect people whose only response is weakness. If any other time you're attacked and the first response is weakness and apologizing or singing hymns in the streets,
apologize for doing his damn job. That shit was crazy. He was doing it right, caring about his own people. So now they starting to just kill them. Like you said, real tactic. The government already sold them out, so those people in Zambia are just killing those Asians. They just killing them. You got
Well,
upticking them, just killing their ass. That's what you got to do. I don't care who get mad. This is our country. This Africa. This ain't China. So you find a lot of Chinese motherfuckers just dead, dying. All this idiotic behavior, them being your friend. They ain't your friend nowhere on the damn planet.
there was
They invaded Jamaica. Yeah, you can't even go to Jamaica without tripping over a Chinese motherfucker. They ain't took over. They ain't took over Jamaica.
there was actually a said involvement. There was actually said involvement of the Chinese in the Zimbabwe in the ouster of Mugabe, and they were saying that there was the Chinese was also involved in that. I believe right now, even with the politics on the continent of Africa, there is also the Chinese involvement. And Zambia is expected to go to the polls this year. They do have the elections in on August this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they would also be having some Chinese members. Zambia. They are all the elections are this year.
No, we're puppets. I told you Zambia's going to be dissolved when the revolution comes. Zambia's going to be dissolved. It's already a puppet state of China. It's going to be dissolved. You got signs in Zambia with Chinese signs, billboards. It's going to be dissolved. Can't stay as its own independent country. It's going to be dissolved. The leadership was too weak and too stupid. And everybody knows it. It's like it's an open secret. Everybody knows it. That Zambia is a colony of China. It's not even a doubt. It's a known fact. So when this revolution comes, all these African countries is coming. Zambia is going to have to be dissolved. It wasn't a real country, no fucking way. Country created 50 years ago. So just dissolve the borders. Make it part of Tanzania, a part of Congo, a part of absorb it into Tanzania. That's what you do.
At the end of the day, I believe those affairs of political affairs. I'm saying the political affairs, I believe at the end of the day will also be interrupted, and there will also be the external influence over the Chinese. Sister Monique is saying showing me on that third period shoe in us, and also you're saying should have gotten beat for saying such that. And I also see what about South African electing the Chinese to their parliament. Yes, there has been a lot of uproar on the Chinese and lack of self-preservation and even inappropriate behavior, as I might call it. I believe when you do have the Chinese being elected into parliament, that also shows the kind of people you are letting anyone infiltrate and come, and dictate how things might be. And we saw the same also in Ghana when they were carrying Chinese on their shoulders. They were giving him the position of was it an elder, a chief? Yeah, that was a chief in their local politics.
What are you talking about?
No, you don't remember Ghana. There was a time Ghana had a Chinese carrying him on.
Yeah, they put an end to that. Yeah, they stopped it. They had to look at how Eddie had that Chinese man trying to make him a chief because they all corrupt and what? They all corrupt. All just how Zambia got taken over, corrupt. But thank God the Ghanaians said, hell no. They removed the chief and they got rid of that Chinese motherfucker. They said, you just ain't no Zambia. You crazy as cat shit. Hell no. But they got one in Nigeria too. Remember we did that? Where the Hausa made one up there in northern Nigeria.
That is what they. I'm still tempted to play. I think I'll play. No, I'll just play the beat over this Malcolm X. No, not the Malcolm. Martin.
You're playing. You're playing. The brother who did this almost exactly as good as I did. I give his brother credit. And he connected all the dots. Shout out to you, brother, who did this video. Just confirming everything I said about, you understand who's Oscar Nazim, how Martin Luther King, you go
Give you breaking up.
They don't even lie about that Rosa, I'm breaking up. Go ahead,
A bit.
break it. Go ahead.
Yeah, a bit. But let me play the video. And he has also done a caveat saying that you can also do your own research and not take the word for it. Not
Fake
take
ass,
the word for
wretched ass Rosa Parks. Are you never
Sad news, that is that Martin Luther King was killed tonight. I'm gonna be there. Your next lifetime. I guess I will now. I guess I'll see you next lifetime.
You gonna share your screen, Mike?
I'm gonna be there.
You gonna share your screen, Mike?
All around, yeah.
Vice, we can't see.
What you do to me? Now what am I supposed to do?
We will return to breaking down the fake later, but for now let's try to understand all of this from the beginning. Martin Luther King appeared, out of nowhere, just out of school, to be elected as president of the Montgomery Improvement Association in 1955, with Edgar Nixon as treasurer. This makes no sense.
You gonna share your screen or what?
Nixon later became an actor with a stage name Nick Latour. He has an extensive IMDb, but let's focus on Martin Luther King. MLK got his PhD from Boston University in the summer of 1955, and by December of that year he was...
Kid, you sent something.
You gonna share your screen?
Damn, I thought I shared. I think I didn't remove the... Sorry about that. I think I didn't remove the... What is this? Just a second. I thought I was sharing the video.
There you go.
Okay, now I got it.
Very sad news, and that is that Martin Luther King was... Very sad news, and that is that Martin Luther King was killed tonight in Memphis. I'm gonna be there. I'll see you next lifetime. I guess I will now. I guess I'll see you next lifetime. When I'm gonna be there. You got me spinning all around, yeah. You need to know what you do to me. Now what am I supposed to do?
We will return to breaking down the fake later, but for now let's try to understand all of this from the beginning. Martin Luther King appeared, out of nowhere, just out of school, to be elected as president of the Montgomery Improvement Association in 1955, with Edgar Nixon as treasurer. This makes no sense. As a side note, Nixon later became an actor with a stage name Nick Latour. He has an extensive IMDb, but let's focus on Martin Luther King. MLK got his PhD from Boston University in the summer of 1955, and by December of that year he was already elected as president of the MIA. How? Over Edgar Nixon. He had only been back in Montgomery a matter of months. Of course, nothing about MLK's early bio makes any sense. For instance, he is supposed to have gotten a BA, 4 years, a Master of Divinity, 3 years, and a PhD, 5 to 6 years, by the time he was 26. Even if he did the BA in 3 years and the PhD in 4, that is still 10 years in college at age 26. Sounds like a tale to me. You would say he was a genius, but if so, why did he need to plagiarize his dissertation? They insert all sorts of apologetics to explain that, but to me, it is simply evidence of a larger fake. The dissertation was probably inserted later as part of his fake bio, and I doubt he wrote any of it. It was written by the cubicle agents at the CIA. Just as in his first TV appearance, it seems as if he's struggling to read something he supposedly wrote.
An inexperienced but determined Dr. King discussed the aims of the boycott in his first filmed interview.
That the seating arrangement would be changed to a first come, first served basis of the bus and the white passengers from the front to the rear, with no reserved seats for any race. That Negro bus drivers would be employed, particularly on predominantly Negro lines. Decided not to ride the buses in Montgomery until we receive some justice and until we get a hearing.
I thought that was me messed up. That was Spike. And Paul, can you hear me? I might have been in bad area. How about you, Zoe? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
All right, that might be the best. Holy Spice came back. What that brother did, he knows if I would get taken down. He went back to the Ashkenazim who created the CIA and the whole psyop. And brother did a brilliant job tying all the pieces that I'd already said when I went back and reverse engineered this shit. He tied all the pieces up again. But unlike him, I didn't ever think that Martin Luther King's assassination is a hoax. He said it's that shit's a hoax too. He almost got me believing. I got to go back and do my own research on that. He said the hoax, the killing his ass, a hoax too.
Well,
But the
I
whole
think
thing is a
it,
psyop.
it might have been playing. Yeah, it might have been playing instead of it being a true assassination. He wasn't in on it, but it wasn't an assassination like they tried to make us think it was. I definitely don't think he's alive because his family saw that proved that the government was complicit with his murder. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Back in
I think the government
back in
killed him.
'99. Yeah, but they'll say that anyway. They control all the damn judges anyway. I don't know. The brother's testimony. I got Spice come back and show it. It's compelling. I can't say yeah or nay. It's compelling. I think this brother did a thorough job, but he showed connect all the Ashkenazim shit I've been said. Also with that fake Rosa Parks shit, everybody knows that was staged and phony. Except the dead head Negroes. Oh, that was phony, stupid. That was staged. They've already admitted it.
The common denominator is this. There's actual lessons to learn from all of this so we can move forward. Therefore, we can't fall for the same nonsense over and over. If we would have learned from this lesson, then Barack Obama trick wouldn't have worked in the first place. You see what I'm saying?
Right, but we didn't learn. Exactly right. We didn't know the trick, man. You're right.
Your enemy cannot give you your heroes. Your enemy cannot give you any solutions to the problems that you are dealing with in life.
It's the same thing they do, copy and paste. Same thing they do with the Nelson Mandela. They're bringing up this other phony Negro in South Africa. called Julius Malema. It's the same shit. I see because I know what they're doing. Oh, Julius, there's a shit they do. He's there to give you to like you're making some ground where you never make no ground at all. It's a stopgap to let you blow off some steam, but nothing ever changes. Hey, Spikes, hope you come back because that video. I'm gonna come on tonight. I'm gonna come on tonight, play it tonight on the channel. Then I'm gonna come on tonight and play it on my tablet because that brother did such a good thorough job. Yeah, that guy people got mad at me when I talked about the dissertation and his number and all this shit he did. It don't add up. This is some CIA shit. He forged that dissertation. And all of a sudden, as soon as out of college, he's ahead of all these other people. Man, get out of here.
Yeah, but you can tell just from the way he spoke and the way that Barack Obama spoke that they was trained by the same institution as far as delivery and cadence.
Right.
Yeah.
Same cadence.
Because Barack Obama didn't go to theologian school, did he? Did he go to school to be a preacher, Barack Obama?
Nah.
Okay.
Same.
So they let you know.
Same preacher cadence, exactly right. And and like the brother showed, the white man wrote all those speeches. That Ashkenazim who wrote that I Have a Dream and all them other goofy Martin Luther King speeches that black people fall in love with. Oh, the I Have a Dream shit written by your damn enemy.
Somebody asked in the chat, is Desmond Tutu still alive?
Nah, he's dead and stinking. That old bootlicking coon is dead and stinking. Another bought and paid for tool of white supremacy.
He reincarnated as Dwayne 33.
That's why South Africa's in the same place in the day. 30 years after, ain't nobody. The South Africa's still impoverished. White people still own and control everything, all the means of production. All they got was some feel-good shit. And I remember the civil rights movement that ushered in all that homosexual shit to black people. Nelson Mandela ushered in all that homosexual shit in South Africa. While black people still don't own nothing. Nothing. Are still impoverished. Yeah, you jump, oh yay, Nelson Mandela. Whole story is a lie. So they do the same thing all throughout the black world. Give you a leader.
You remember when Judge Joe Brown was talking about Mandela living with his male lover all them years?
Yeah, living with his lover. Yeah, man. Man, Dr. Short was saying it, but nobody knew that. Most South Africans don't even know. He lived with a male lover, the driver. That was his lover, his white lover. Exactly. Nelson Mandela was gay. That's why all that homosexual shit was ushered in. Same way with Barack Obama, ushering all that homosexual shit in. That's the thing of the Ashkenazim. It's the same copy and paste they do globally. Give you your damn leader. So when I started reversing this year ago, I said, oh, man, we got played by this Martin Luther King shit. You leave Martin Luther King alone. Anybody can just, you don't have to be a genius to reverse engineer it. Well, I told you I'm dubious about these B1 Negroes. Constantly problem. I said, this is agent shit. If you ain't did the research, you're supposed to be Professor Black, children of Jason Black. They constantly keep picking up Martin Luther King. You ain't got to be a genius to reverse engineer that shit. Then what is your get down then? What is your goddamn get down? If you're not trying to be honest, something's going on. And I smell a real motherfucking agent. There's no way you don't reverse MLK, you don't get all dirty. All kind of inconsistencies. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Even the name of Martin Luther, that's not his real name, and we
Yeah,
know who Martin Luther was historically as far as to the Protestant church. So he's supposed to be his,
yeah.
so subconsciously what it plants in your mind when you hear Martin Luther King was that he was a Protestant too. He was protesting what was going on, what was the status quo at the
Bro.
time, which was
Yeah.
discrimination and segregation. So he protested segregation. He stood for something of a higher power. See, that's what subconsciously is supposed to imply when you hear that name, Martin Luther King.
Like I said, this whole thing was given by your enemy, your Ashkenazi, put you back on the plantation to destroy you economically, so now you would have no defense and then wiping us out. That's what they're doing, wiping us to a slow genocide. While cheering for your own genocide, you're cheering for it now. I gave some fake funky holiday, birthday, whatever you call that goofy shit. And I was upset too. I was all up and I was like believing in the damn dream, and I have a dream. Let me go reverse engineer this shit. Something just don't seem right about this shit. And black people
Ain't
become
none of this right.
intellectually lazy and not intellectually curious. Go ahead, though.
Oh,
You on your
I'm
phone or you on your computer, though?
disagreeing with you. Oh, I'm on the phone right now.
Oh, okay, shit. I'll send you the damn video.
It's a delay
Oh, go ahead.
when we talk. No, what was you saying? What you want me to do? I can go upstairs and get on the computer. What's up?
Oh, I was gonna see this video. How you play the shit then? Now let me see this video to you.
I need to set up though. I haven't set up yet. I ain't finished setting up. I'm off next week for my birthday, so I was gonna get everything set up on the channel for, next week.
I played late on the night. I think the brother did some excellent work putting this together. I get kudos to this brother. Like he said, YouTube's gonna shut this down, and deadhead niggas not gonna like what he's saying. Something didn't sit right with him. I told you it didn't sit right with me, but I found out that the damn business owners came to Dr. King and said, "Hey, don't do this, man. You will destroy economics." They personally met with this dude. They don't do this. You will destroy us economically. We won't survive it. And they're right. We didn't survive it.
Yeah, I mean, you think about how many war tools are in operation right now against us, not just in this nation but globally. It's countless. It's countless. I'm sure the majority of the of nations' defense funds go towards them strategizing and trying to come up with ways to suppress us and to keep us in the box.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And see, and as a people, we don't realize that their focus, their warranty is on us on a global level. And I don't think black people can fathom that. Every leader you get, they bring them to, they raise them up. Everything you think you following, black people got smarter now. They know that that's the same shit they doing with that Black Lives Matter shit. It's not by black people. That's why their media always goes back and talks about Black Lives Matter. Has nothing to do with us or black people. And the slide. That's why they're giving them the Nobel Peace Prize to give them credibility. Say, oh, look at the Nobel Peace Prize. Same people who created this shit on the Peace Prize.
Exactly. The Peace Prize it has no merit at all. And how you gonna give the Nobel Peace Prize to jokers that's younger than me? That's crazy. Spike's talking about they born in 84 and stuff. What's this all about?
Yeah. It's getting them credibility. Oh, look at Black Lives Matter is really a great organization. It has nothing to do with black people. Black people don't run it. Black people ain't funded. Nothing to do with us. Another organization that caused confusion and to stifle the growth of black people and to put your righteous anger energy into something that goes nowhere, like that civil rights shit. Keep you years and years run around in circles, never get nowhere.
Chief, I came across something the other day. I want to know if you heard anything about this. So there's this tribe in the Sudan somewhere where they actually sued NASA and sued the U.S. and all these other nations for ownership of Mars, because they traced that they lineage actually came from Mars, that the tribe, and they had ancient paperwork, documentation to prove that they tribe came from Mars, and that a lot of that was like describing the Mars surface as far as different artifacts and different faces and different, you know what I'm saying, man-made or definitely not natural structures and things like that. They knew intricate details of this stuff, and next thing you know, that's when that war broke out in Sudan. That's when that
I know
war
you
broke
can.
out in
I'm about to say how.
the
I'm about to say how.
Janjaweed was killing
Can,
folks.
oh, was it? Oh, yes. I was like, how can you prove it? I'm sure. I'm sure it's probably true, but how? Exactly. How could you prove that? I guess they must have some real proof. They sent the
Yeah,
weed out there to
they
kill
had
it.
intricate documentation. The documentation they had was like carbon dated to be over 2,500 years old. That's what I'm saying. And it spoke of they tribe specifically coming from this part of Mars. It was crazy, man. And these jokers that went and killed these folks. That's how they wiped these jokers out. You know what I'm saying? They wiped them out to neutralize the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. Well, to neutralize the damn evolutionary lie. If that's the case, that means evolution is a lie too. You destroy these theories that they got. These theories must stand at all costs. These lies that they told us, like this, just like we started off the show talking about the Khoisan, and you got the white man, the Khoisan is the most ancient. And I go back and show you guys, you can easily know how to do research and know what you're looking for. You can tear down the lies. So that's why I told Spike to pull up, do the Khoisan, that any Neanderthal genetic markers, and of course they do. So they're not the original people. Like I told you, I already knew that anyway. Those are created Africans. I already knew that. But the white man's sticking to all these goofy lies. And also the Khoisan has Western markers. I'll tell you about Western markers. It's created. Western European markers, what the Khoisan has. And they say, oh, when the Khoisan walked all the way from Southern Africa all the way to Europe, lived within and walked all the way to fuck back to Southern Africa. Like, what? You crazy. But that's the shit, they just all kind of inconsistent nonsense. Idiotic talk.
So do you think the same thing for the Twa, Keith?
But the Khoisan are the Twa, partial to the Twa. The Khoisan in Southern Africa, Twa mostly in the Congo, Rwanda, Burundi. But yeah, is the Twa created? Yeah, the Twa. I was just, all pygmies are created. From you got the North Sentinel Islanders, or you call the Jawa. All pygmies are created. All created Africans.
So you don't think the original man came in a multitude of heights and sizes?
No, hell no. The genetics don't show that. That's what they want to say, but nah. I told all the genetics on this plate, like I showed everybody when I expect put them in E1B1A. That's your original genetic. E1B1A. Then you might have to get a start have a slight mutation, that's a mutation. It's not a hybridization. Difference between a mutation and a hybridization. Hybridization is genetic manipulation. Mutations can happen over millions of years. So you might have some Africans of E1, B1B, a slight mutation, but not a hybridization. So when we're talking about the coenzyme, we're talking about Western, anything with Western that comes from them damn, like I said, from them taking African genetics, because you need the original, and back crossing that shit with all kind of apes and rabbits and all kind of shit. I don't think they did the coincide with no rabbit. I'm just saying. I'm being facetious. We're using all animal kind of genetics. We know they used a Neanderthal to create them, and Neanderthal and other genetics. And what makes them mad, they know that the Neanderthal has human genetics. The Neanderthal was a created creature by using the human genome. Neanderthal don't become a human because Neanderthal has human genetics, which they don't like to admit. Oh, the Neanderthal was here before the human. That's a lie. No one ancient than the African, because he has no animal genetics. The Neanderthal has human genetics. Human genetics mixed with a lemur and all other kind of shit. That means it was created from a human, not the other way around. And that's the E1B1A genetics. All human. Did nobody evolve from no monkey to no human and all this other crazy shit. And that's why I say, you got the East Indian Asian, Eastern Asian, the for lack of a better word, the Han, that sit right next to the East Indian. They don't look nothing alike. Huh? That's genetic manipulation. I'm right next door to Zoe. Zoe right next door to me. She's Zoe Caucasian and I'm black. That can't be without genetic manipulation. They're right next door to each other. They're completely different. So, like Papua New Guinea, that's a created African. That's when they got made. Oh, the Aboriginal, the ancient, or the first, that's a created African. It's created human. Aboriginal, Tasmania, to the ones they wiped out, goddamn, most of Australia, that's a created African. That's not an original African. It makes white people mad. They get an original African. Anything with what? Animal hair that you know it's not. I ain't need to go to the genetic. I know it all now at the back of my hand. The Aboriginals have what? Animal hair, fur. But I knew genetically they had Neanderthal too, but I didn't need that. I can look at the fur on your fucking head. Anything with fur, it's not a. No, go ahead, Zoe.
I think the original Aborigines look more like the Tasmanians, where they had more African features. You know what I'm saying? And the Aborigines that we see today, they've been miscegenated with the Europeans so much. That's why
they did on purpose. Remember? They did on purpose. They did rabbit-proof fence. Remember when they went to Australia, they was to breed out the black. And he made them. When he was saying they made a movie about telling how they did. We're gonna breed the black out of their ass. It's called rabbit-proof fence. We're gonna breed it out. Them and the white people. I don't know if they was as close. I think it's a different form of since they made. I think the Tasmanian was a different form of ape man. I think they spliced. And sometimes they would use the woman, the black woman, or they would use the black man. They would use matrilineal. Damn, I'm at brain fog. What do we call man's genetics? What's that shit called?
Paternal.
From the man, huh?
Patriarchy.
You got matrilineal, which is the woman. The other one is damn.
Oh, patrilineal.
No, the other. It's not called patrilineal. What's it called? It'll come back to when they call the male. Sometimes they would
Paternal.
crossbreed.
Not paternal.
Nah, not scientific. They won't call it paternal. They call it damn it. It'll come to me. I'm having a brain fart. But sometimes they would crossbreed them through the man's genetics, or sometimes the black man or the black woman genetics. It was never uniform. It wasn't uniformity. Sometimes they would use the black woman, sometimes they use the black man. When you use the black man, it's always harder because the black man's genetics breaks down through time. The black woman's genetics is consistent. So that's why you started finding all these different heads that he's talking about. This is astrophysical. This is this person. That's that. All these different form of these apes that they were making these people from. You think it's different time periods. No, they were just using different form of apes, human genetics to make these people. This became this. This evolved in this. This evolved in. It's a lie because you'll find the same fucking head in the same fucking cave at the same time. And a white man will come along, oh, these are different time periods. There ain't no damn different time periods. They were mixing, matching the humans, creating different humans out of these different apes. And back crossing it, making it humanizing an ape. This much genetics for that, this much genetics for that. That became an East Indian, that became a damn Australian. Now, Lucy, go ahead, though.
That's what I was just saying. That's how they got the Bigfoot too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Bigfoot as well. Exactly. Now they got the Bigfoot. Still living. And like I said, that's why you try to figure out, well, why are some people with Rh negative have a psychic trait? Because the damn Zoe always can pull it up. I can't pull it up. Zoe can pull it up though. That's why I told you that the damn octopus is telepathic. Look that up. That's why the Rh negative genetics, they're a little bit more empathic. They're a little bit more telepathic because of that octopus blood that they create these motherfuckers from. The octopus is more telepathic. Don't look that up. You think I'm lying? So people with more of an Rh negative strain, which came from the octopus and the jellyfish, are more empathic.
Hey, Keith. In
Yeah,
fact,
go ahead,
that was an octopus. That was an octopus that selected like the final four, the Sweet 16 one
Get
year.
the fuck out of
here. I'm
Get
dead
the fuck
serious.
Out of
here, they put the teams in some jars, and the octopus would pick the winning team for the game coming. I'm dead serious. It was an octopus doing that, and then they was using the octopus for football games and everything.
Get out of here, Zoe. You full of shit.
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. The family can look that up on Google. They should be able to find that still. I'm dead serious.
Oh shit.
They was calling it a psychic octopus. I'm dead serious. Yep.
Exactly. So just now explain what I've been saying. I ain't know nothing about this, sir. I didn't. I swear to God. I ain't know about no damn octopus picking the final four.
Unsunken one said he remembered that. Yeah. See.
Exactly. So see, that's why Zoe see we play off each other well. That's why everything's never coincidence. That's why Zoe was here to bring that back up to me. I didn't know about no damn octopus picking the final four. That just sounds
That's
crazy as cat
crazy.
shit to me.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they,
man.
but
Life is stranger than fiction.
yeah, because you don't know when you connect all the dots, you don't know all this. And people think this is pseudo. This is not pseudo. Y'all keep giving me goddamn emails, dummies, who don't do no research. Nothing I'm saying is pseudo, stupid. If we looked up scientifically, I know. So the question is, was the octopus right? Did the
Yeah, it
octopus
was
get this
right.
shit right, y'all?
It
Okay,
kept being
okay,
right.
okay. See, so that's what I'm telling you. That's why they say. That's what I'm saying. People with this Rh negative blood have they're more psychic. They have a little bit more sense of psychic abilities, and that's and I know it sounds crazy, but that's the truth. And I know that
And
octopus is doing
I
that
don't know
shit.
why they took that thing off of TV too. They should have kept doing it. That thing, it was so right. It was no way to explain it. They just played it off. Next thing you know, you hear nothing else about that octopus.
They know all this. So why the fuck anybody? Why the fuck about anybody randomly just grab an octopus and start picking games and guessing shit? That don't even, who would even think of some crazy ass shit like that? Because they know all of this. That's why. If I know it, they know this shit. They've done the real genetics. They ain't told you none of this shit. They know all this real shit. I had to go past the monkey. Where does the Rh negative gene begin with? Begin with these fucking octopus. And the octopus is a blue blood, Copperfield. And when Quato Muwas, they came across these damn graves, they were copper smelling. That's where they create these graves from. They create these crackers, these other people from by mixing them with African genetics. You must have the African, the original genetics to create any other thing. You must have that. Because the Zoe is so right, it comes straight from the ether. You must have that black African genetics to create any other species that you want to house energy in it. But you must have the original. And that's why, because Rh negative, why they say they're a little bit more intuitive, why they got that tail and all that shit. That's the octopus. That's why I told you the gray is not an alien. Gray is an entity created here by that Yahweh motherfucker.
Unapologetically, B1 said Octopus picked
From the
Kansas
fucking
City as the
octopus.
Super Bowl winner last year.
See? What?
He said,
You
he
full of
said,
shit, bro.
unapologetically, B1 said Octopus picked Kansas
What?
City to win the Super Bowl last year. Yeah.
God
I wonder
damn.
if it
That's
probably
what
was
I'm
the
telling
same octopus that did all that other stuff. That damn
you. They
octopus,
get it,
that
octopus.
octopus is somebody reincarnated. That's a person.
nah, the octopus because of what they created from, coming from the ether as well, small, it makes them a little bit more telepathic, a little bit more intuitive. And I didn't know nothing about them create picking games. How would they know that? Remember, there are no coincidences. As those say, but there's no coincidences in the universe. They know this. They know it. I'm not gonna sit there and be, hey man, you know what? Let me get a motherfucking octopus around this bitch to fix the game. Shit. Like what? You don't get your crazy ass out of here. Yeah, man, give me a motherfucking octopus. Shit. They pick the best. They usually get 10 out of 10 on these games. Bet my money. You don't get your crazy ass out of here.
I use my lucky cockroach.
So, like I said, real life is stranger than fiction, man. It's crazy. But look, And then if you go look at cats with the art negative blood, they're a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more logical, right? It's the logic. But it's crazy. So I never knew they used the damn octopus. Octopus picking game. Who would do that? That's not some random shit no one would do.
Yeah, you know they done sat down. They had to test all the different animals and see which animals were more psychic versus which ones weren't. Because you just don't pick an octopus out of everything you can pick. You know
Exactly.
why not a mantis shrimp or something?
Exactly. They showing this. They showing it right in your face. They know all this. Us as black people, we're always late. They got all the damn the underground science, the real shit. They got the unfunded black budget. They know all this shit. And I know they listen to them. You guys, I shared it with you. They making it hard for me just to even send money to Africa to pay people. They cutting off all my avenues of payage. Slowly.
Keith's gonna have to be forced to pay them folks over there with nude pics.
No, I got some other way to do it. I'll be quiet on the internet because every time I got 5 ways that's all been taken from me. Just saying no. Anybody told me no reason why? Nothing.
I had some
They know I'm about to start
bastards
building. I'm about to start building shit in Africa. They stopping all that. Go ahead. Yeah. What now?
I was saying I had some bastards steal like $1,500 out of my account from Cash App, and when I reported it, they shut me down. I can't use Cash App no more now. Now I gotta connect Cash App to my business account, but I can't use it for my personal account. I'm like, these people so bogus.
That's bogus. Hell, you tell them you've been wrong, and they make it so you can't use the shit.
Exactly.
Looking crazy. So, but they are listening to us. I know. I knew they were listening anyway, but they do little shit to let us know they listen. And they're listening now. They already know all this. They know about this octopus shit. They know they come from that fucking octopus. So, dude, don't write me no letters talk about no pseudo nothing. Just because you're stupid and you don't do any science and it sounds crazy to you, yeah, it sounds crazy to me. You're damn right. But I do the research behind it. I go with the genetics. I go with the science. I just don't say, well, this is crazy. I go where the science leads me. That's where it led me at. The world you live in is not what's actually real. This illusion that you believe is a lie. Every religion that you believe is a lie. I don't care if you're talking about Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism. All that shit is a lie. Every last bit of it is a lie. So if that's a lie, you think that's your world structure. Your world is a damn lie. Then what's real then? That's the question you need to ask. What the hell's real then? What's real? So when I always go looking for the real, just like with Martin Luther King, I go looking for what's real. Let me reverse engineer this shit. Go ahead, Zoe.
Sound like that's a real case of cognitive dissonance. That's what's real.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Keep in this pseudo shit. Keep with this pseudo bullshit. This pseudo bullshit. Keep in all this pseudo shit. That's why I don't go too spiritual no more. Because I always get hit with that pseudo shit. It's pseudo because most people can't tolerate it. I know like Mel that was, why you don't talk about it? I don't talk about the spiritual side all the time because everybody keep hitting you with the pseudo shit. Oh, that's pseudo. Oh, this is pseudo. Oh, my phone died. Damn.
You still there? Oh, sounds like Keith is gone, y'all, or he gonna connect to his laptop. We shall see. I had a little something I wanted to share with everybody since we talking about pseudo and how when you deal with you confront these people with facts, they don't know how to deal with it, and they'll attack you. Like Keith was saying, the dude attacked him for trying to provide some knowledge and some facts by calling it pseudo. So here's what I want to share right here, a little something here. So we know how, for example, during Christmas Eve, we see on the news, on the weather, they'll show us Santa Claus is somewhere over North Dakota or whatever. And so we see that. And as adults watching that segment of the news, we understand that that's intended for children who are ignorant of the fact that Santa isn't real. But likewise, the rest of the news is viewed by those in the know to really understand that that segment of the news is intended for the masses of ignorant adults that don't know any better, who don't know that the news is scripted and controlled. Because in a world of belief and lies, truth and knowledge are the adversaries. So this is something that we deal with on a regular basis. Whenever you try to give some truth and knowledge in this world of belief and lies, whenever those two forces come together, you get verbal attacks like calling people pseudo, but a failure and a reluctance of those to actually research what they're saying to see if what they actually heard was truly pseudo. And if it was pseudo, what was pseudo about it? Generally, when individuals attack the truth and knowledge that is outside of the box of life that they've been contained in all of their existence, generally when they attack, they'll say stuff like pseudo. That's not right. That ain't true. You lying. But they won't say where it's not true, where it's pseudo, where is the lie. They'll just throw out a blatant, blunt, just a broad, general statement attacking people or attacking the information that you present them with. Or they'll just shut down. And this is a problem that we have in our community because, for the most part, we have a community of indoctrinated, brainwashed, controlled individuals. And when I say controlled, they're controlled through emotions, generally fear, and the fear of something negative occurring. So, to control those individuals, you always present, well, if you don't do this, you're going to end up getting cancer, or somebody going to go to jail, or this going to happen, or that going to happen. Just the fear of being complacent and easily controlled and steered with fear. And that's what we have for the most part. And that's why that mayor in that African town apologized to the Chinese after he stood up and did something very courageous. But then the fearful president, after he was contacted by the Chinese, made the mayor buck, and the mayor who bucked, he made him bow down. And the mayor bowed down. The mayor didn't have to bow down. The mayor could have lost his job. The president could have lost his job. But see, the fear of losing employment, the fear of not receiving remuneration, led these individuals to compromise the greater cause, which was self respect and dignity for the people. So it comes to a point where you have individuals, we'll hear about this rapper or that movie star wore a dress or performed some type of homosexual act in order to get promoted or some type of status within that world. When in actuality, that stuff don't mean anything because ultimately what you see is those people are broken and definitely compromised as far as who they are and what they were. You see them broken when it all said and done, when their careers come to an end and they got drug problems or they crazy. It was a singer in Houston. He gouged his eyeball out, his own eyeball, cut it all out. I don't know what he did. Maybe he did it with a spoon. But the thing is what did he see? What did he experience to make him gouge his own eyeball out? And was it worth whatever fame and fortune that he received? I don't think it was. Definitely, most people would think it wasn't. But he's just one person. And we hear about that, we know about that, but how many more? How many more victims has Hollywood fame and fortune consumed the souls of? Used their energy to fuel that machine. That's what's going on. And we are all, for the most part, as a society, ignorant of that because we steady give our energy to it. Just some gotta change. Change is happening and change is inevitable. But will we be ready when the change gets here? Because right now, if we represent gods and we represent life, then our antecedent opposites would represent just the opposite of that, right? They would be devils and death. Well, life is forever changing and life is in fluctuation. Life is movement. Death is stagnation. Death is a lack of movement. So to lock us down, going back to what we were talking about with the vaccine, to lock down this quote unquote junk DNA that is liquefying and becoming more accessible as it gets online, to make that truly junk DNA and to keep it from coming online, the vaccine is attempting to stagnate us genetically. And that's something that we have to be aware of as a people because the ramifications will be far reaching for generations and generations where certain people might be sitting around wondering like why our family jacked up and it was because your great great grandmama wanted to go and get that shot because she needed to keep her job at that nursing home as a CNA or something crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're dealing with because people playing for generations. They play the long chess game. We play checkers. But it's about time that we start playing chess and we start recognizing these patterns. We're real good when it comes to beats. You know, black folks can catch a beat. Well, a beat is nothing but a repetition of a actual sound. It's a frequency, repetition of a frequency. And if we can get on beat, then we need to be able to pick up the beat of life and understand what our enemies have been doing for generations against our people and what they intend to continue to do so we can see that it is an actual war game out here and stop thinking that it's just a game. You back, Keith?
Nah, it's the backup man. I seen you was alone again. So I jumped in.
Oh, what's up?
What's
What's
happening,
going
brother?
on, Mr. X?
I'm hanging in there, man. Can't complain. I see we way off the title again.
Yeah, I don't even know what the title was when I got on here, truth be told. What is it? Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, they got
Oh.
some type of award or something.
Oh, yeah, we already touched on that. It ain't much to say. That Black Lives Matters is a psyops. I mean, I don't know what else we can say about it. I don't think, for the most part, anybody on this platform was ever pro Black Lives Matter in the first place. We all knew what was up with them from the jump.
Yeah, certainly. I like to like when we have building sessions locally with some of the guys that are conscious, if you want to call it that. We'll say things that most of us already know. Most things we already know. Um, just it's a sharpening tool. It's a build. You know what I'm saying? Brick by brick, thought by thought. But for those who may be just sliding in or may just stumble upon this thing like I did 4 years ago, you really get to zero into the specifics of the women and why they choose it and all that shit. I mean, that's surface stuff. I mean, you guys go real deep, but the day-to-day things, the black as hell young lady, why does she not seem to connect with other black people on a level, but she uses the term and seems to be exploiting it? You know what I mean? Why is she choosing white women to be her mates? When's the last time she was with a man, and why isn't she heterosexual? Where did they find this chick? How did within the creation of Black Lives Matter, within a month, they were at the table with the president of the United States, just like you guys were showing that video of Dr. King. How long did they have this woman in their back pocket, and what is her Garza I'm talking about? Um, how long was she there to be used? Was she like, hey, we got somebody, this young lady at 15, and she could be of use of us in the next 10 years? Okay, boom, this thing happened. Let's activate her. The cell activation we know about. The process of that whole thing. And these people had been buried. We buried them. They were in the grave, and we exposed them. And then the George Floyd thing happened, and they act like we didn't bury them. They act like we didn't kill them, shoot them in the middle of the head. They pulled them right up out the ground. Did that man and steel shit with Doomsday. I was mentioning that my last show. They Doomsday their ass, brought them back, put them in the serum, put them in some water, gave us some electricity, and before you know it, we battling them again. They're alive and ugly and mutated. But it's almost like we did. I mean, we went through all that trouble to put out the information. Same thing with Kamala Harris. Put all this
But
information out.
but see, the thing with me, what I keep with the whole Black Lives Matter is this. Like, first of all, to say we buried them, I don't think we ever did that, because the real engine behind it, when you bury something, you don't bury just the fruit of that thing. You bury the tree itself, and the tree that produced Black Lives Matter is George Soros, and all the as far as Antifa also. He's creating all of these groups and funding all of these groups, and he hasn't been buried, he hasn't been exposed, and he hasn't been addressed. So to really get to the root of it, if we don't really talk about it, we would have to see who he is and what he represents, what he's done across Europe as well as in this nation and other, across the planet, and as a totality, since he's a globalist. So that's what, this little black girl, she's just a pawn that he's utilizing, and also gonna make it to where black women are hated and despised that much more. That's why they use these black women, including the black woman that quote unquote co-created the vaccine for Moderna. That's all so it could be a black person to attack. Stacey Abrams, all of them. You know what I'm saying? So understanding that the game is just it's way bigger than just Black Lives Matter. There's actual players who are utilizing and creating these different tools to manipulate us globally, not just here in this country. Black Lives Matter mainly operates in the United States, but we know that he has to have an equivalent, or if not several, on the African continent also.
Yes, certainly. And that Soros is definitely a guy that's going to be replaced, because how many Soros have we had since America was bought out by those rich families? You know what I'm saying? So that's another one thing. I mean, the whole thing got to come down ultimately. But when they come pluck these people out of our communities, or even as we find out, she's a second gen non-FBA, those immigrant communities, where are the parts of the island that they're at, that they're not able to associate with the grassroots of their island or their nation or their community or their county or the state or wherever they're from. These Jack and Jill programs. You know what I mean? That's another place where they put young gifted black children children in and pluck them out to use sabotage our movements or jump in front of something and say, hey, follow me, when we were going in the right direction. Well, because we love white folks and they're around white folks and they're around resources, right? And they look clean, and they smell good, and they use the King's English well, and they got some certification that was printed up yesterday by the CIA. Then we follow them right to our doom, like lemons falling off a mountain. You know what I'm saying? And certainly someone like a Bezos, $188 billion. You know, what's the number to when you automatically become a globalist, right? So they got to check your bank account and be like, all right, you got about 7 billion. You're globalist. Come on in here and get in this table, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not something we're asking you to do. Once you reach a certain level of economic wealth, you got to come up in
And
here.
then with them too, Mr. X, with Bezos, if you, I'm sure, just as sure as my name is Lorenzo, if you was to trace Bezos' family, you're gonna see an intersection somewhere where he's connected to the Rothschild family. You already know this. If not that, he's gonna be connected to one of the other 13 families. So, just because the names that we're dealing with, just because his name is Bill Gates, we know Bill Gates where he really come from. The same thing with the dude from Facebook. We really know who really behind these individuals. You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't even be in the positions that they're in if they wasn't in the club, so to speak. So all of this stuff, it comes down to it's just the same players. They're not allowing new individuals, new families to amass all of this money and power. Even though we know the U.S. dollar don't really represent anything, the real power is the ability to make people take a vaccine, to force this on the country, to force a lockdown and a shutdown on the globe by something that they've created. That what I'm saying, whether it's fictional completely or impartial. So this is the real power that these people have. It's not even about the money. You know what I'm saying? The fact that they can force you to have to get this, otherwise you can't get on a plane no more. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. You know what I mean? And what was the I'm trying to remember this and add this to memory. Who did they sell um, money making plates to? I think back in the 70s or 80s? Was it the
Was
Shiva?
it a country or was it an individual?
I think it might either. I mean, the leader or dictator of a country because of its oil deposits. I think it was the Shiva land or something like that. I forget.
Let me see.
Yeah, man. Imagine being able to having a place to print money. You can devastate an economy. Uh, you can bolster
It was
yours.
during the 80s.
I think so. Let me, I'm almost certain it was the 80s. 80s was a dirty era, man. Goodness gracious. Marijuana have seeds. Small hats, yeah. They took my brother Jenny off all the. They attacked him. They got him up out the paint. All his YouTube handles, his social media handles is gone. He been on what the hell is his name? Um, what's his name? What's that goofy ass dude name we always make fun of?
Rolling.
Nah, not Roland. The other goofy dude. Shit. I forget his damn. I can't believe I was talking. I got in a little thing with him, with his daughter. His daughter is jet black, beautiful girl. She married a white dude from the Caucasus Mountains. He tried to tell me that he wasn't white. The guy is obviously intelligent, been around the world, studied and all that. So he's going through the history of the Caucasus Mountains and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, they literally got a story of white people's coming from the Caucasus Mountains. I don't know what to tell you. He's pale as hell. I mean, why you trying to explain to me that he's something that he's quite obviously not? You know what I mean? He was going back and forth with that, but it was just like she had jumped in. And his daughter's a cool one. And like with my daughters, and this was there. Some of y'all were there when I had the show, my sports show this past Saturday. They had my daughter speak real quick. One of the biggest things of being conscious, right? Especially if you're a black man and you have daughters, to transfer that consciousness as best as you can to them, so that they build on you. One thing I liked about brother Tony Broder was when I met his daughter. She had picked out the book for me to start reading about 6 years ago, because I just came into the thing and I was like, I don't know what to pick. I'm new to this thing. She said, here, start with this. And it's the simple Tony Broder files. And she gave me that. But she was in the temple. She did the excavations with him as well. So long story short, I don't think she's going to show up to him with a white man, you know, if she decides to get married. But this woman was like blatantly in love. Like I'm looking at the photos on Facebook, and she just eyeing them and looking at him. I'm like, this dude is, I mean, she looking at this dude like he's Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Can y'all hear me? Or is that you? Did I get kicked out? Oh, no. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Give me a one if y'all can hear me, because I don't see the volume things. So I don't know. Okay, you can? Okay. Okay. Yeah, try to remember something. I know, right? I got to, because I hate to try to call on information, and it's not there. But I just jumped on real quick because I know I got my daughters with me. But I'll make this one point, and then we'll get on out of here because it's been 3 hours. Yeah, and so Broder and having that information given to his daughter, and she can carry on his legacy. Same thing with my daughters. You know what I mean? And hell, a couple of Malcolm's daughters are just say living an alternative lifestyle. I ain't want to gossip, but you ain't heard that from me. But you want to prevent that. But reality is, when you have your father murdered, it'll take you in any direction, and you be like, man, the hell with this. How these people did him like that, and he gave his life for them, and it was black people that killed him, shot him after he was dead. They kept shooting that motherfucker after he was dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, listen, this is the angle I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna stay this way. There's no real guarantee that no matter what direction of life you choose, you're not gonna have a horrible death. You know what I mean? People have horrible deaths. Being the biggest coons ever was. That one brother, and I use that term loosely, you recall, and that's my middle daughter here. He was all in love with all types of white women. Someone who worked out a lot. I know a few brothers like that. Worked out a lot. Big, strong brother. Only like white women. And so, he go in to break up a fight or something like that, and go to shake the hands of the police officers, and they gun him down. And all his white friends, ain't no justice and no peace. Marches for him. No white folks are asking for justice, asking for internal investigation. They just going about their lives. Another nigga is gone and not screwing their women. So with that, I'm gonna leave y'all. That was, I forget the dude Keith be making fun of all the time. You are CNN. Talks like that. I'm doing an imitation of him, a very bad imitation of him. I just his name and his network escapes me. But Irritated Genie have been on there a few times because his all his social media handles have been eliminated. Who come? You back? I'm about to leave, so you got it. I gotta get my children. My children tearing up my house. Who is it, Keith? So I don't lose my mind. Who am I talking about?
What happened?
The dude you be beefing with. What's that fool's name, man?
T West goopy ass?
Yes, T West. Thank you. God damn it. Yes. I was telling him the story about his daughter. Don't touch that, honey. His daughter and marrying that KG. How she was in love with him and everything. She's actually very attractive young lady. But to transfer that consciousness to your offspring, so you ain't got to explain why your children like white people love white people. Like, apparently T West does too, but
Yeah, of course he does. He's a Republican coon. He believes there's a difference between the Democratic and the Republican Party. The Dixie Democrats, you goofy old nigga. The Dixie Democrats were the Republicans. Were the Democrats who became Republicans. But he believes in that that there's a difference between the two. So yeah, he's goofy like that. Hey, Mr. X.
Yeah.
Mr. X.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you on your computer, right? You on your computer?
Yeah, I'm about to go. I'm swarmed by my daughters. I ain't no
Hey,
good
do me a
teacher.
favor. Shit. Hey, bro, but do me a favor before you leave. Put on that. Share your screen. You're gonna be in the house, right? You can get up.
Yeah, for probably another half an hour.
All right, we'll do. Yeah, you ain't got to step. Share the video I just sent you. Share that video I just sent you.
Okay, hold on. It's gonna take a minute. I gotta get to my phone. Hold on. Keep talking.
Yeah, share that MLK video I sent you. What happened to Zoe? We lost Zoe, huh? If not, I'll just do it tonight. Come on and share it on my thing tonight.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, if you can find it. Oh man. Let's make a read something. Like I said, when everybody see this Martin Luther King video, I think the brother did some excellent work putting it together. Is that we keep worshiping heroes that were given to us by someone else, and whole kind of dubious past. Same thing with Barack Obama. Nobody check this dude's pedigree, his past. They keep sending us people to keep us all messed up. To dissipate the righteous energy that we have about the system. And so that's what people continue to do. Whatever. They'll groom some hanging road and then plop them out there in front of us not going back and find out where they from. Who is this person? How are they the leader of any damn thing? Like I said, I think this brother did excellent work putting this together. Like when I first did it, everybody enemies. Looks like you got it, Mr. X. Like I said, if Mr. X not able to do it, I'm gonna do it tonight myself. I lost it, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it tonight myself then. All right, so I'll do it tonight myself. So what I do, you guys, my voice is gone. So what I do, you guys, what I do, what I do, I'll wrap it up tonight. Not a problem. What I do, I wrap it up tonight. I wrap it up now, and I come back later on the night, and I share this brother's dissertation on MLK. Like I said, I think the brother's work is brilliant. Just saying what I said, you can't really debunk his research, because I've already done the research. So, yeah, we've been on here. Yeah, we've been on 3.5 hours anyway. What the hell is going on? He said, BLB, what the hell is going on? So with that, I'm going to say much love, and I'll come back later on tonight so I can share that MLK dissertation. So it'll be about 9 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to come back on and share it and talk about it. Uh-oh, somebody's showing up. I thought you got knocked out, man. Mr. Okay, there you go. Mr. X might be playing it now.
MLK got his PhD from Boston University in the summer of 1955, and by December of that year, he was already elected as president of the MIA. How? Over Edgar Nixon. He had only been back in Montgomery a matter of months. Of course, nothing about MLK's early bio makes any sense. For instance, he is supposed to have gotten a BA, 4 years, a Master of Divinity, 3 years, and a PhD, 5 to 6 years, by the time he was 26. Even if he did the BA in 3 years and the PhD in 4, that is still 10 years in college at age 26. Sounds like a tale to me. You would say he was a genius.
Hey man, play this thing later. This thing is acting spooky right now. I don't know what the hell is going on. This is spooky as hell. I ain't even clicked that button, but spooky music and everything. Play that shit tonight when you got your upgrade. I gotta get me a new
I play it tonight, family.
This shit here ain't no good.
Said the music spooky.
I don't even know where that dude came from. You gonna check? You gonna strike out there? Channel. I did not hit this.
I don't know who that. I don't know what that is. Don't show that.
You see me with my headphones on? Yeah, do it tonight. Peace and love, y'all.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it tonight, y'all. So much love, family. We're gonna wrap it up.